All good. Tell him he better enjoy it, the little thief. Astro bought away from. How could you? How could you do this? Are we muted?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Touching Tips, a podcast dedicated to the world of PSVR 2. My name is Karen Alive and Well, and I'll be introducing your hosts. From the west of Ireland, he is a visionary, a leader, a sensual and generous lover, as I can attest. Petrifying Pumpkins. Pumpkins was once a successful businessman before a tragic incident left him with stage 2 ligma of the mind. No longer able to run his multinational POG corporation, Pumpkins turned to his other passion, PSVR. Hence this channel and later podcast were born. Pumpkins is famous all over the world thanks to the various Easter eggs dedicated to him in PSVR exclusive Firewall 0 Hour. Most famously, if you go to the hangar map in the air control tower, you will see radar screens with various aircraft designations that, when combined, spell out Petrifying Pumpkins. It really does make him better than you. From Mexico, he has many names: El Chupacabra, El Fuego, El Pasión. But around here we call him Mr. 777 or Jackpot. Mr. 777 moved to the United States as a wee lad. A former Xbox fan, Jackpot gave up on Team Green when he discovered the future is virtual reality, and has been on PlayStation since. Jackpot lives with his mother in her basement. She reached out to Pumpkins, begging him to let Jackpot be a co-host as she worries about his lack of social communication skills, as you will soon see for yourselves. He turned to marijuana at a young age and has reached a stage where if he were to ever stop smoking, the shock to his system would kill him immediately. Jackpot has a heavily stained pillow that he calls Amanda. He believes that she is real and that he is in a long-term relationship with her. His catchphrase is, "Bitch." And finally, all the way from the frigid wastes of Canada, comes Muzz. Muzz has a passion for maple syrup and discussing PSVR 2. He once got lost in the frozen tundra of northern Canada with his best friend. The ordeal was harrowing and led to Muzz eating the remains of his friend in order to survive. Shortly after, Muzz turned to VR gaming as a way to escape the horrors of the reality he leaves every time he puts on the headset. It's worth noting that while Muzz maintains his best friend was dead before he began to consume him, later studies of the remains hinted at the possibility that the friend died from infections that were caused from bites, though due to a handling error, the evidence was deemed inadmissible and Muzz walked free. He also has a cat. Without further ado, let the show begin. I've been Karen Alive and Well, and I will now hand you over to the strong, sexy hands of Pumpkins. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What the fuck is this?
Muzz, tell him, Muzz. Please tell him,
Okay,
Muzz.
we should be live.
We haven't even started.
Test, 1, 2, 3. Can we get an
Yes.
audio check?
Hello,
we're already
hello.
fighting. We're already fighting about quests and PSVR 2. Thanks to Hitman.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It just at the end of that conversation, Jackpot? Did you literally just say Batman is not as big as Hitman?
I say for a system seller, I think people will be more inclined to say, hey, if we're going to put one game that is going to sell systems, which one it is going to be? Hitman that everybody played, or a new Batman VR Arkham game? I think that will be more of a system seller. Because Hitman, we already have it.
Do both.
That's my opinion.
And then if you do both, you can...
Especially for little kids, right? Not everybody knows Hitman. If you know video games, you know Hitman. Not everybody, but for the most part. But if you're anybody, you know Batman.
But hold on a sec. No. I'm sorry. Are you saying that Hitman is on Quest 2 as well? Because it's Quest 3 exclusive.
So. I don't know.
Yeah, so what's the...
Is it only Quest 3?
Yeah, it's only Quest 3. So there's no explanation for that downgrade. I mean, it's the very last topic, so we shouldn't be talking about it right now.
This is built for VR. Anyways.
Let me catch up with the
Just
chat.
skip right to the end.
To the end, yeah. Goodbye.
It's a Quest channel now, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed.
I'll
Quest only.
If I have to make up news about PSVR, I'll do that instead of covering anything about Quest. All right, I promise. Anyway, sorry I'm running a little bit late. I had a little bit of an emergency to attend to, and sorry for keeping you lads waiting as well. Brannon is here. LSB is here. Movemaster Make is here, although he's going by Plank 71 these days, it seems. Chaos is here looking for Karen to touch his tip. So she brings that sex appeal, which is why I make sure she's in every intro. It kind of,
Is she old? How old is Karen? For me, Karen I felt like an old lady. I don't know.
No, she's like 25.
Oh shit.
She's in
She
her
one of the
prime.
dancing girls. She wasn't one of the dancing girls.
No, she's classy.
in her prime.
She's classy.
She wasn't one of those. She wasn't one of those dancing.
Roy Schwartz is here as well. And Chopped is here saying, sup y'all. So for some reason, I'm no longer a member and this bullshit won't take my payment method. I don't get it. I got a 10k limit on my card. Listen, Chopped, don't even worry about it. In fact, I suggest that every person who is a member get rid of us until I'm more regular, because I've been really bad the last 2 months. I apologize about that. So don't feel bad about it, Chopped, because you're not missing out on anything. So don't stress. Don't sweat us. I'm just glad to see you're still alive. Every time I see you there, it's like, a sigh of relief. It's like, oh shit, he's made it another week, which is lovely. And Dan Parker is there as well. Sorry, Muzz, what you said?
The ticker's still working.
For now.
Yep.
That lady's going to ruin it. Plank saying testicles, good. Thank you for letting me know. Mick. Chop says, Hitman if it's VR. Well, they're both VR. Dan Parker says, Behemoth looks sick. I'm excited. Behemoth is going to be the first thing we do talk about, so you won't have to wait long for that. And although there's a fella in the chat there with you, if you want to talk about it, he'll know more than most. It's Gamertag in there. He's one of the ones who got the that hands-on impressions of Behemoth, which went live today. Mm-hmm. So feel free to harass him with questions about Behemoth.
Yep. How much is the video?
How much is the video? Is that what you said?
Yeah. No, I say watch the video.
Oh, I thought you were going to
say.
Yeah,
I already checked out his video.
Looks
he
really
did a
good.
Q&A at the end as well, so I recommend Gamertags because he got a lot of information covered. And I think we're all kind of hyped about that. Yeah. Chop says we're all going to be questicles. Nope. You're already questicle, Chop. You're just in the closet. You're pretending like, oh, I just have this quest. I never use it. But
he doesn't, though. I don't know why.
I'm holding it for someone else.
What is he using? Yeah, I'm holding it for someone else. Yeah. VR Namek, aka Bozoid on Twitter, the most notorious Quest fanboy of all time. But we had a switch there earlier on, like yesterday, because I've been whinging a lot about the way things are going with PSVR 2, especially with the Astrobot thing, which we'll cover as well. He came up to me and said, you know what, they might release it later, and maybe they just don't want to harm the sales of Max Mustard. And I was thinking to myself, only the most hardcore like PSVR 2 fanboy would come up with an excuse like that, which is crazy that he came up with it. But anyway, that made me laugh.
I heard it's not a bad game though.
So. No, it's good. It is good. But it's just Sony don't give a fuck about any other game, so they won't give a fuck about stealing anyone's thunder. Chop says it's all about keeping you afloat. Thank you very much, Chopped. I appreciate the sentiment, but just let me be clear that you don't worry about that at all. It's not a big deal.
Especially because we don't get anything, Chopped.
They don't get anything. Yeah. Well, you're getting exposure. You know, how many opportunities do you
Exposure
have
for
right
what?
now? It's
I don't give a
crazy.
fuck.
It's not my fault
I
you're not
can do
utilizing
anything.
us. You're not utilizing your exposure. That's your business, all right?
I'll start streaming
That's
any
all.
day now. Any
There you
day.
go. Muznos.
Any
I'm
day.
going to throw up. I'm sorry. Chop says that's a quest 1. Who the fuck? Oh, you only have the quest 1? Damn.
Oh, that sucks.
It looks great, says Dan. Oh, he's talking about Behemoth. Lal says Namek. They not like us, says damn, looks like Mark Zuckerberg won. I'm afraid he had. I mean, we still have to be grateful for Mark Zuckerberg, because if it wasn't for him, how many games would we have to look forward to? Like, it's like most of the stuff coming are like being developed in the first place because they're making them on Quest because they can make some money over there. And then I'm like, okay, we'll port it on PSVR 2 as well, seeing as we're doing this anyway. Even if we make a loss, like Ghost of Tabor developers are like, we're probably not going to make anything on the PSVR 2 port, but we're going to do it anyway because we're sound. Gamertag says, please be gentle with me. I've got some stomach bug and slipping in and out of consciousness this evening. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. GT. Get well soon. Best wishes for GT.
Ate some bad airplane food.
You know what? Sharing that VR headset with all those other previewers at the Behemoth event. You know, you probably got some.
That's right.
Disgusting
They got some
germs.
bug in there. Got explosive diarrhea now.
Mm-hmm. That's
Sharing
what it
the
is.
headset.
That's what it is. Did you wipe it? Did you spray it with disinfectant first, Gamertag? You should have.
They should have someone there doing. They didn't do their job.
Probably should. I won't be surprised if they do. Ever since COVID, anyway. Like, everyone's very paranoid or germophobic now. Midlife Kid says hello. How you doing, Midlife Kid? Hello to you too. Is that like a Canadian? No, not Canadian. Was that like Maine? Is that how they talk in Maine in America? Hello.
I don't know. I don't think so.
A lot of history on that road. Gamertag says, hope so, man. Behemoth vid is doing well, so I'm going to take tomorrow off. Nice one. I'm glad to hear it. Good work on the video. You deserve a break, GT. You know, get yourself a Lemsip or whatever it is you take for explosive diarrhea. Dan is here. How you doing, Dan? Fluke Roby is here as well. He just needs to get his VR legs as important. How you doing, important?
That's funny.
It is. I enjoyed that one. Gamertag says, I had a guy on Reddit say he reckons Meta pay press and creators to poop on PSVR 2. I was like, they're doing a great job of it on their own. They are doing a great job of it on their own. Some people get really paranoid about certain things. And the most underhanded thing I've seen Meta do when it comes to PSVR 2 is when PSVR 2 launched, and they sent like a mass email out to like all these different outlets, including Kinda Funny and Greg Miller, like read it out saying, you know, look at all these games that they have that are also already on Quest. You know, that was like, and that's not even underhanded. That's just, you know, smart marketing or whatever.
And Greg went on a pretty good rant about like, it's not our fault that it's failing. Like, why are you? Why are you looking at us? Because
that was after the state of play.
Yeah.
But yeah. Gamertech says, have you got the Behemoth B-roll pop? No, I don't have the. I actually Googled it. No, sorry, I didn't Google it. I YouTubed this and I couldn't see it.
You don't have a B-roll for this?
I just got the trailer footage. I don't have the B-roll stuff. So the B-roll does show some extra stuff like the monkey bar climbing and stuff like that.
The most important thing in the game, you know?
We'll get into it.
Quick find it.
I guess you can just use Road to VR videos as Gamertag. If anyone wants to see the B-roll, just watch Gamertags. Just watch Gamertag's video if you want to see it. So let's go into Behemoth anyway straight away. Since
first topic.
Actually, before I do, lads, sorry, I didn't introduce you properly. I mean, I don't need to introduce you, but you know, I ask you how you've been. Any news? What's going on?
Contractors, buy it.
Same
get
thing.
A quest.
Same thing. Copy paste.
What else is that? That's a good game.
Play a different game.
It's a good game.
Play a different game.
Hey, we did.
I thought PC VR has lots of games. Why aren't you playing any other ones?
We played a man talking about the fucking sickness. Amanda's getting into VR now. She didn't want to play VR at all because she got sick all the time, just nauseous. It's too much for me with the Questicle 2. And then I got the Questicle 3 and she started doing the mixed reality and she's like, oh, surprisingly, I'm not dizzy after all this time. And then she ended up playing a regular game. And at the beginning, she got a little bit dizzy when you walk and stuff. But I think after like 2 or 3 days, she's now all good to go and she's just addicted, you know, like all of us now.
You know how you got like that big screen app that you're always talking about on VR.
Good shit.
You know how like you and Amanda both have headsets now, like you can play together at the same time. Like, could you watch like VR porn together? Like, do you think that's like a couple thing?
Could we?
Do?
Yes. Would we? Of course.
Of course.
No. No, could we? Yeah. Well, we actually
spice things up.
No, I don't even fucking spice.
I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying you could. You know, put on some.
Of course,
she knows you. She knows you love that gay porn. So if she just pops on it.
No, but talking about the app is cool. We were talking about watching the fucking Godzilla movie. Because Decepticon said it was pretty good, so we're gonna watch it. But you know, Decepticon, he's always a fucking fly.
I saw it.
Whatever.
It's cool. It's all right, but it's not as good. I don't know. It's not as good as everyone said, in my opinion.
Which one are you talking about? Minus one or the? Yeah, that's the one that's supposed to be really good. Yeah, I still haven't seen it, but
when he like shoots a laser beam out, that's cool. Anytime he does that, let's
don't tell me. Don't spoilers. No spoilers. Shut up.
Okay.
It's not spoiling anything to say Godzilla shoots a laser beam.
No, I didn't know that. I've only seen one Godzilla, like 2000. There was no lasers. I think.
Is that the Matthew Broderick?
I don't know.
Did I ever tell you he killed 2 women in Northern Ireland?
Damn.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, back in.
I remember you talked about that.
Yeah,
before.
there you go. I did say this. Okay.
Yeah, you did talk about.
Anytime he comes up, it's my duty to
mention
that. He got away with us. He got away with us.
Of course he did.
Celebrity status.
He's out there.
Well, the whole point is that so we've been playing more with Amanda. We play that Forewarned game, which is not. Some people say it's better than Phasmo. It's not.
That the Mummy one, the Egypt.
The Mummy one. Phasmo's still good in my opinion. Devour, it's more fun over all the scary games multiplayer. We still gotta play that, but she's like, I'm getting scared. But long story short, yeah, VR legs, it's a real thing. Get used to it. Takes a little bit at a time. Everybody goes through it, and you'll be addicted for the most part.
All right, Muzz,
that's it. That's what I've been doing.
What's going on with you, Muzz?
A little bummed after all this bad news and all this, talk about Sony packing it in. So looking for some good things to talk about here. Maybe Behemoth is a bright spot, at least in the near future, I guess.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good idea to open up with the positive instead of just negative. Because I know people, for some reason, some people seem to have this idea that I'm somewhat negative when it comes to PSVR 2. I don't know where they're getting it from. But I'm about to disprove it with this first topic, which is Behemoth. I mean, I suppose we should set it up because this was revealed in the State of Play. We got 3 big PSVR 2 news titles or news segments or whatever from the State of Play. The first one was Behemoth, then there was Alien, and then of course there was the Astrobot news. But let's start with Behemoth. And I've only got the trailer that they revealed it with, which was the first time we ever saw gameplay footage. But if you're looking for more, as I said earlier on, look for the B-roll. Look on Gamertag's channel. He's there in the chat. Click on his name. And you'll see a lot more footage, which might convince you even more. But what they showed in this trailer here, I think, did a really good job of getting me excited for just the gameplay. What are your thoughts on what you saw, lads?
I'm happy with how the combat looks. Like, without even getting to the behemoths, I think the fighting looks pretty solid. Even if there wasn't any behemoths in the game, it looks like a solid game.
Yeah.
For the combat, anyway. Like I know GT went into like some comparisons, but I wanted to like kind of hear how close it is for Legendary Tales in terms of that kind of physics and swordplay.
I watched Without Parole. I really think Wes on Without Parole.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, he compared it to Legendary Tales just because you mentioned that. That's why I'm bringing it up. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, excellent.
But he says it's very similar. Like,
yeah, I think Legendary Tales is pretty top tier in terms of like the sword play and how like swords bounce off of each other. And I thought that this one might be like that as well, so that's good to hear.
I think this is more like power fantasy though, but like you got this. I got a bunch of facts here I'm going to list out later on after I get your initial impressions. But there's like a Hulk mode or whatever, so you can like rip them apart and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like near as like as strategic as Legendary Tales because you have to like parry and like every enemy can like kill you easily if you just like let your guard down for a few seconds. But I don't think this one's quite like that. It looks maybe more like you can just plow through them if you're good, like competent enough, I think.
Yeah.
And my impressions anyway, like, yeah.
He made the comparison to. You've played Synapse, have you?
No, I never played Synapse.
Oh shit!
No.
Damn, you're phony. You're fake.
Yeah.
you get to a point in Synapse where you got like enough powers where you're just like flinging everyone everywhere. You're barely looking at them, and like you're just flying through the levels. He said you can kind of get to that kind of fluidity in Behemoth. And he only played it for like a little while, but I think that's to do with the like enhanced power up mode, like a rage mode or whatever it is you get that you can only access for a limited time. But when you do access it, like you can split their heads in half and punch open doors and rip up trees with your grapple hook thing and kill them with the tree then and everything. So there's some cool shit going on. Mr. Jackpot, what do you think? What do you think of this game?
Looks good. I mean, we knew the developers were pretty solid, so I knew that it was gonna be good, but we didn't know much. But now seeing the trailer, seeing other people play it, GT's video, everybody else's, these are one of the types of games that we would expect, regardless if it's not exclusive per PlayStation. It's one of these games that they come everywhere, and they should come to PlayStation because I feel like this is gonna be the best place to play it, right? Because of the feedback and all that type of shit. So I think it looks great. The combat looks awesome. I like the grappling hook thing. I like every game that has dismemberment, all that type of shit. I really like. And them saying, the developers how good they are with the physics, and saying that the gameplay actually is good when it comes down to Must is saying, right, the physics of the game is kind of like the legendary tale. So I'm just I'm curious, not worried, because again, these developers are amazing. I'm just curious how long it's gonna be. They say I think it was gonna be $40, which I think it's a great price, obviously, for more people to get into this.
Should I
I'm
maybe
just
read
hoping
out the details I have, because that's included in that, and then maybe we should talk about it then after that. All right.
Yeah.
So Press got 30 minutes hands on. Roughly, most of them seem to get 30 minutes. I think Wes got like closer to an hour, I think he said. Upload viewer mentioned that the inventory is like on body, so no shitty menus or whatever. Although when it comes to like a critical item, like a key you need to go through a door, like it'll just appear in front of you if you've already collected it, so you won't have to go rooting around. Like it speeds it up that way. Combat requires effort. You can't just go around like waggling your motion controller around or whatever. You have to manage your stamina, and you gotta manage your opponent's stamina too. It's like wear them down without getting worn down yourself. It has blocking and parrying. Although GT, I think it was, who said he wasn't too happy with where parrying is, the way it works right now. He seems to think it needs a bit of work. Like you gotta hit their attack before it connects with you. So I'm not sure exactly what the issue is, but maybe it just doesn't register as well as he was hoping. It does have a dismemberment system, and as we can see in the trailer, it seems to be fairly complex. Like you can slice not just the head off, but you can slice the face off, which is a rare thing to see. It's like the Mortal Kombat fucking fatality, That's where you'd see that. In terms of weapons, you got your swords, axes, shields, bows, and the rage mode. You can pick them up off enemies. However, there is like a permanent weapons you can find called hero weapons, and it seems like you'll be able to upgrade those ones. And you can, like, when it comes to customization, the way you upgrade them gives you like a degree of customization depending on how you upgrade them, I guess. So as Jackpot said, $40, but they say it will take between 10 and 12 hours to beat the campaign, but it also comes with like a sandbox arena mode where you got like endless enemies to, fuck around with, which I think sounds like Blade and Sorcery, so I'm really excited about that. In terms of how open it is, they're calling it wide linear, so there is like different branching paths, but they do all lead to the same place.
Right.
But if you explore, you get rewarded with collectibles and shit.
Nice.
You have the grappling hook as well, which is used for various things. It's not just combat. You can use it for traversal, swinging over gaps, and you can also just place the rope in a certain place so that you can just climb up it later on or whatever. So it has multi-purpose grapple hook. And I think it was GT who said that the grapple hook might be the star of the show.
Yeah.
Especially when you got that rage mode on, you can really like fling them enemies with it.
Yeah.
Does it say
I wonder-
anything about?
I wonder if you
Go
can
ahead.
grapple them and then pull them and like whip them around like in a circle and then throw them.
You can do a scorpion thing. Get over here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know if they say anything about because I saw that he just picked up a gun with the a fucking sword with the hook, right?
Yeah.
Is there gonna be an inventory system like the people that you kill drop guns? They drop the swords, and can you pick them up and you have an
Sharp
inventory?
guns.
Okay, I'm gonna open my backpack, and I'm gonna get a bunch of swords, or is it just like you have one sword and then that's the one, and then you upgrade to another one? So how does
No,
it?
the inventory's all
system?
on you. The
Yeah,
inventory's all
but
on you.
I
It's all on
assume-
your body.
I assume you got limited amounts of like holsters and stuff for your swords and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe like like a couple on your shoulders and maybe one on each hip. I would guess. That's just me guessing. But nobody mentioned like a backpack type inventory or anything like that, so that's what I'm assuming.
Because it's like in God of War, you just play with it, and then the axe and all that shit keeps getting just updated, but you just keep using the same shit, kind of, right? For the most part.
Yeah, but like you're always like unlocking more moves for the axe, so that it always feels like it's getting more powerful or whatever.
I'm also curious. With the stamina. Like, obviously I'm not seeing any like stamina bars or health bars on the screen.
Right.
There's no menu. So like, where do you see your stamina? Is it like on your arm? Do you have to like look down at a bar on your forearm or something to see your stamina?
Good question.
Or is it like?
I didn't see that in any of the preview stuff I saw.
Yeah.
But maybe if GT's still there, somebody else might know.
Yeah, I'd like to know if it's like a bar, like something on your arm that you have to glance at to see how what your stamina,
like didn't they have
or
stamina
maybe it's
in Walking Dead? Didn't they have like a green, like a little bar that, like a white bar underneath the green health bar?
Yeah, but there's no bars on this screen, like when he's playing.
Yeah, but not for the trailer, or like whatever fucking B-roll footage they're showing off. They'll have all the HUD turned off, I think.
Even during the gameplay, you think you're gonna have that all turned off? When
No.
like,
I mean, the stuff that they're showing off is gonna hide all the HUD. Like, but I'm sure GT probably saw a HUD, but none of the footage we've seen so far.
I just assumed that they would have had it on, like in the trailer, like when they're showing the gameplay footage. That's what the game looks like.
Well, not like if there's an option to turn off the HUD in the settings, they usually kind of do that to make it look more immersive or whatever.
Cinematic, yeah.
And yeah,
my guess. Yeah, I was just guessing it would be like a bar, like some kind of gauge that you would check on your forearm, or maybe it's like a audio kind of thing, like your character like starts like breathing heavily, like or something. Right. Yeah, so like as
what
you fight,
would you prefer?
you
what do you think is the best way of doing that?
I don't know. Like a part of me,
yeah,
like having to look at your arm to like know where your stamina is would maybe like mess you up in a fight, because you'd have to like worry about like, oh my goodness, I'm at like 20% kind of, and then you look up and you're getting hit by a sword. So,
but you might need a bar, like if a certain move takes like 30% of your stamina, then you're not going to know how much you've got left to use that move.
Yeah.
But after a while, you can probably know, hey, I do these fucking 2-3 moves, and I know my stamina's already kind of low. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean?
Maybe different weapons you pick up do different.
Different
types
different weapons are heavier. Yeah, exactly. And you also might be able to upgrade your stamina as well through the game, so that would change as well. So I would like a bar, like just a small little stamina bar at the bottom that has like a health bar and a stamina bar. That's pretty much all you need.
Are you guys gonna? Well, at least if it gives you the option to turn it off too, because I like some of the games when you play them and there's just no HUD or anything. It just makes it sometimes a lot better. But are you guys gonna pre-order this shit or no?
I mean, I'm sure if I did pre-orders, I'd be safe enough, but I don't see a need to pre-orders.
Yeah, I plan on buying it.
If it has a midnight release, I probably will then, like the day before, just to have it preloaded if I want to do like a midnight stream or whatever.
Right.
I didn't check to see if there was any like bonuses that you get for pre-ordering. Like, do they give you any in-game content? I don't know. If
me neither. Actually, I don't know. Like that. I haven't heard anything like that. I got a few more details to go through. So it's set in a world that has fallen due to a plague, which I think they refer to as the rot. Your character has this rot, but it doesn't seem to affect him the way it affects the other people in the game who've lost their minds. Instead, it's given him enhanced strength and shit. Then it gets into the behemoths. They're huge in scale and very intimidating. It's not straightforward to defeat them. You can't just go up and slash them. You need to figure out how to get to their weak spots, and you gotta like climb up on them too, like Shadow of the Colossus, which I think is like the dream. Like I was really, really hoping they were gonna have like when the very first trailer, the cinematic one where they showed off the big giant things, I was like, damn, I hope they let us do that in the game, like actually climb up like Shadow of the Colossus. And it looks like, yes, you can scale them and then attack their weak points and shit, which is, exactly like Shadow of the Colossus. And I think I like the behemoth we've seen two of them actually, but the main one that they show in this one with like the elephant seal head,
penis nose.
It's something creepy about that. I don't know what it is, but I just find that unsettling.
You don't like fucking water animals or what?
I don't like massive cocks on someone's face. Maybe that's what it is. Massive flaccid cocks,
wrinkly and shit.
The common thing to see over there in Ireland, isn't it?
You never know what you're going to bump into over here. What was I going to say? I'll say 4 chapters in total with 3 acts each, and then each chapter will end with the behemoth fight. So it sounds like there might be 4 behemoths in total, but then maybe there'll be like who knows? There could be like a mega big boss at the very end or some shit. But at least 4, it sounds like.
Well, the second behemoth that it shows looks way bigger than the first one.
Yeah. The first one
Like,
looks
in
like a
terms
baby.
of-
But even the first one apparently is like super fucking tall. When you're in the headset looking up at it, it's like, Jesus Christ, you know.
Yeah, obviously, it's still massive.
Hero weapons will be in the game, which I said already. I think some of them like have special abilities as well, as in like you throw it and then it'll come back, like fucking Kratos' axe or Thor's hammer or whatever. There will be difficulty settings if you're into that kind of thing. There is dynamic foveated rendering for PSVR 2, and by the way, when they were doing the preview events, it was all shown up on PSVR 2s. I don't know if that's because of American didn't deal with Sony that they seem to have, or if they want to show the best version. Hopefully it's the latter. It's coming out in fall 2024, and I said earlier on, I don't see any other game beating Madison for Game of the Year, but if there is one, it's probably Behemoth.
Yep.
And that's
a good shot from all the positivity that I'm hearing from it.
This, like, I was hoping Legendary Tales would scratch my Blade and Sorcery itch, but it doesn't give you the power fantasy, you know, which is what Blade and Sorcery does. But this, especially with that arena mode, if they kind of give you like cheats or whatever that lets you have like unlimited rage or whatever, or you can upgrade your rage so you can stay in it for longer, and then you can just, you know, like I always say, diddle them NPCs.
I'm on the PlayStation Store on my phone here, and I don't have the ability to pre-order it. It just has a wish list.
Damn.
Damn.
It's over. It's canceled.
I just assumed you could pre-order it, but I guess not.
No,
it's
no pre-order there.
I suppose it doesn't have a specific date, so maybe you can't pre-order until there's a specific date. Is that how it works?
Maybe.
Unless it's just not available on because I'm on the app on my phone. But I thought, no, I'm pretty sure the phone still has pre-order showing for other games. Anyway, I'm happy to hear too when GT was talking about it that he said it looks phenomenal, like graphically. Like he said it was like really, really good looking. Because I was a little like when I was watching the trailers of it, like it looked okay, but it didn't look crazy to me. So I wonder if that's because the foveated rendering makes it look even better when you're in the headset. Because we're just seeing the basic.
Actually, it's important. You reminded me that, you know, Mike Vioro, Virtual Reality Oasis. He went with GT. I watched his as well, and he said he was able to record his own footage, but he wasn't going to use it because the social screen output of the PSVR 2 was so shit that it didn't reflect what he was seeing in the game.
There
he
you go.
didn't say shit, but, you know, just not as good as what he was seeing in the game. He didn't want to misrepresent it.
So that's a really good. That's a really key point to make everybody aware of, that it looks even better than it does in the trailers, basically, like when you get it on your headset.
But yeah, that's for most games. I feel like most games look a lot better, and being in VR just makes it a lot.
But especially with
not necessarily. Like you can watch someone playing Gran Turismo 7, and that looks amazing on the flat screen when they're playing it.
You can tell when they're not, like, if you're looking at someplace they're not looking. You can tell, like, oh, it's fucking blurry as fuck over here in the corner, like, you know, with Gran Turismo 7 footage from the social screen. Right. But yeah, overall in general, that's the social screen is not as good. Dan Parker says stamina could be like you start breathing heavy and like a fog around the screen. Yeah, they could do it that way. Blur your vision a bit or something like that. HDS says it's not an open world though. No, it's linear. But that's not awful, you know. I wouldn't expect, even like Saints and Sinners, people kind of call that an open world, but it's more like connected hub areas. It's not really a open world. You gotta loading screens and shit. Important says never pre-order. How many times do we need to get burned? We're like Charlie Brown trying to kick the football. Did you answer that question that you asked, Jack? But are you going to pre-order this?
I never pre-order anything, bitch.
Okay. Well, you asked the question, so I was wondering if you were going to.
I know, but you usually are like, oh yes, I love this game. Everything looks great. I'm gonna pre-order.
I think this one is safe. I think this one is safe to pre-order, in my opinion. Just because it's the people who made.
Nothing is safe. Yeah, but you
don't.
You never know. You never know. Sony, you never know. Maybe there's some weird glitch, and you have to wait for a patch for a day or two.
Okay.
Just wait.
the way I see pre-ordering is if I'm like 100% certain that I'm going to buy the game as soon as it launches, then why wouldn't I pre-order? Especially like if there's a get a free like gun scan or a couple of things that you get just for pre-ordering. It's like
Right.
I might as well get that stuff because I'm gonna buy it when the game launches anyway. So why wouldn't I pre-order it to get that stuff before the game
But
comes out?
very few games give you that. Yeah, for sure, you're gonna buy. They're good.
Yeah.
Compared to what most shit
Not every
comes with. So,
game.
like you said, this one could be one of the safer ones, but I just don't pre-order any. I don't fucking pre-order nothing.
What if the pre-order bonus for this game was to make the elephant trunk erect and stiff instead of flaccid?
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, I'll buy 2 copies.
Deluxe edition.
No,
Premium and deluxe edition.
Give me the 8-inch statue, please. Give me the
19-inch It starts off the way that you see it here, but you need to make it.
Oh shit! You gotta climb up. You
gotta climb up and
you gotta earn
and
that
get him
pre-order
excited.
bonus.
You need to get him excited.
Oh man. Anyway,
then that would
this
be
is
a
taking
game of the
turn.
year for
This
sure.
is taking a turn.
All right, is that it?
I
Buy
got
it.
Cocoa Pops. I have
Maybe
Cocoa
no
Pops in my
pre-order.
room, just like random Cocoa Pops. Do you have Cocoa Pops in America? You call them Cocoa Puffs
Cocoa
or some
Pops.
shit, don't you?
Cocoa Puffs?
Cocoa
Yeah.
Pops.
Like the
You got
cereal?
Cocoa Pops as well?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess
so me
it's
and
just a
Mosin
different
are
name,
also-
but yeah, the bird.
No, not a bird, a monkey.
What?
It's just,
Cocoa Pops. He's a
you
monkey.
see?
No, not the same
He
thing.
wears a blue
got-
baseball cap.
No,
He says, "I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops."
no,
No. All right.
not the
Remember
same
you,
thing. I guess.
you guys,
Cocoa
pumpkins,
Puffs.
you guys over there are like completely off of society.
No,
compared
you
to
are.
Where Muzz
You
is.
are.
No,
You came from here. You're all warped. You've distorted everything.
nobody came
that
from
we
there
started.
except fucking vampires.
You took everything
Stop it.
from us. Halloween, that we did that. Your pumpkins used to be turnips, carved turnips. All right.
Turnips?
Yep.
Well.
Donnie, how you doing? Donnie says, so your special enhancement is Rot Rage. There you go. That could be what it's called. I don't know if they've revealed the name of it. But
It sounds. I think they did say it in one of the videos I watched. I think that's what they do call it.
Damn, Rot Rage. His hands get all veiny and shit, but I don't know if that's a cutscene or if that just happens. It says,
It is rot. Maybe it isn't rot rage.
We'll just call it
I think one of them said the name of it.
SDS says like, so I guess that undead citadel. Oh my god, undead citadel is actually dead. No PSVR 2 support. Well, what about fucking Aces of Thunder? Is that dead too?
It's
When the
not
fuck is
dead.
that? Why don't they
Relax.
speak about
Relax.
it?
They're just
Why
gonna
won't they
shout or
speak
drop
about it?
that. They're waiting for Sony to stop being
It's
bitches.
great, but they
some-
don't.
Something.
They can just tweet us and say, "Oh yeah, testing went good today, guys."
They're
Thumbs
not
up,"
gonna
you
do
know?
that
That's
because they
it.
know
That's all
that
they
you're
have to
gonna
do.
be like, when is it coming?
No,
Is it coming
I'm doing that
soon?"
now. I'm doing that now anyway, so they might as well do it.
But nobody's listening.
Are they still like completely silent on social media?
They
Like,
haven't said anything
on
on
their
like
websites?
months, I think.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing about like. Okay.
Nothing
weird.
about anything. So
This
I'm
year.
starting to worry
This
now.
year. This year.
They're
This year
frantically
it'll come.
they're frantically porting it to Quest and scrapping the PSVR 2 version as we speak.
The downgrading is happening
We
as we
cut,
speak.
cut the planes. It's a 2v2 plane chooser now.
1v1.
1v1. One versus an AI. That's all you can get. Blue God says more cooked. No. Well, he spelled no, but it should be now. With Hitman launching on Quest. We'll talk about Hitman later on. But yeah, you're right, Blue God. SDS says Hitman 3 is launching. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. LSB says I will be buying this game on Quest 3. That's fair enough. I expected you would, seeing as you don't have a PSVR 2, do you?
No, he doesn't.
Well, there you go.
Otherwise, he would have bought it on the PSVR too.
If this wasn't on Quest 3, LSB, would you have bought a PSVR 2 headset for us?
It'd be stupid. Almost nobody will buy the whole headset for this game.
Well, some people seem to think this is a system seller, and even though it's available on Quest as well, this is going to move PSVR 2 headsets. No disrespect to this game, because I'm sure it will be amazing. 9 out
Oh
of 10,
no,
10 out of
I'm
10.
not. Fuck, this is gonna be one of the best games. I'm just saying. I don't think.
Like, look at the reaction from like the flatties when they were watching the state of play and they saw this. And I just saw people like laughing. Like, he said a line like, "Oh, the poison in my veins craves for blood" or some shit like that, and they were just laughing at that. And they weren't talking about how fucking sick it was that he caught an arrow in midair and then loaded his bow with this and shot it back at the dude who shot it at him.
I definitely would like to see games start getting a better production value for actual story elements and like voice acting and that element as well.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to single player games, like it can't just be reliant on like the fun action,
Yeah.
you know, swordplay and stuff. Like if you're playing a single player game, you want like you talk to an NPC.
Dude, fucking Chat
It-
GTP. We need that on the fucking VR. Some NPCs.
Do the
you know,
Skyrim
with
mod.
these
Yeah.
Do the
AI.
Skyrim mod.
I know we need. That's what I'm saying. I
You need
hope.
to do
I know
it.
they're
You
gonna
need to
do
do
this in
it.
the future.
No, it's there
Yeah,
now.
we'll try
Get
it
now.
soon.
That shit looks cool. When I get my PC set up, that's the first thing I'm going to try. Skyrim VR with the ChatGPT mod. I don't know what you need to do that, but I will
Probably
try.
not hard.
it
For
when
you,
I have
everything's hard. For you turning it on, it's gonna be hard.
It's
You know
gonna
what
be
button to
difficult, yeah.
press.
I got to plug it in. You say into the wall.
Into the wall.
Into the
But
wall.
I think that eventually the games will have a lot of that. But it will be cool, like Mus is saying, if there's more than just the gameplay itself, it opens up more than just that, you know?
Well, they got like at least some world building going on. It's like a falling kingdom. This disease. It kind of feels a bit Dark Soulsy the way they're doing it that way. And there's like in the B-roll there's a vendor. There's like a ghostly
Okay.
looking woman that you're speaking
Well, that's good.
to.
I
and
haven't seen that yet.
and,
To me, to me, this looks better than, and I haven't played the ass game, but to me, this looks better.
the
Yeah.
what game? The ass game?
The Aska's Wrath 2,
Oh,
whatever.
sorry. Yes.
I think that
Asgard.
game, I think this game looks better.
Well, Asgard's Wrath 2 is like a big, or like is it open
That's
world?
I think it's like a
Big open world
big
RPG
open,
thing.
like
So
more RPG. This is more action.
I know, but what I'm saying overall, if you were to say, hey, what game is gonna sell more headsets? For me, overall, I feel like this game will be more appealing than the other one. But I don't know.
then Asgard's Wrath.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, fair
With the mechanics, with the way that you can stab people, especially if you play Saints and Sinners before.
Yeah,
and
I
everything,
don't think it
you know?
has. I don't think Asgard's Wrath 2 has sold as much as they were hoping. It's just not a name that people know outside of VR, at least.
And it looked okay. I mean, for me, it didn't look like, damn, it looks fucking amazing. But I don't know.
Yeah. But listen, everyone who's played this is like, fucking hell, this is even
Yeah.
fucking IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, LSB say it was great, so maybe I gotta try it. I got it for free.
Yeah, do it. I'm trying to catch up on the chat now. Important says Viagra edition. That's what they should call it. Yeah, that's what they should call it. You're welcome, Stream Animal. Thank you, Extra, for joining the pumpkin patch. You're still waiting for Zero Caliber. Remember that was supposed to come to PSVR 1? Extra says, you all are funny. Thank you very much, Extra. Jackbot doesn't mean to be funny. We kind of just laugh at him, but he thinks we're laughing with them. VRNMX says, I waited for the PvP shooters so long on PSVR 1 and then quickly found them on Quest 2. Still the rule to this day. The flatties love us. You stumbled. Where have you been? Is this your first time watching a VR dedicated YouTube channel? We got some slang. We got a lot of slang for the normies out there, the flatties. Chad GPTs is important. Get him. I want him in my game.
So you said that you saw gameplay that had a vendor.
Yes,
that
I don't know why I didn't
went
add that
up
to the notes. I thought I did, but I didn't. There's like a crafting section. I forgot to mention the crafting as well. Like it's not.
Oh
it's
my
not
God,
usually.
you
in
forgot
depth.
to mention one of the most
Shut
important
up.
things, probably.
It's not in depth. It's like in the demo
I-
anyway. They had it was like you collect some herbs, you put them in a bag, and this lady at the vendor thing, she's talking you through it, and then you shake the bag like you're masturbating it, and then it turns into whatever it is you're trying to create, which is like a health potion or whatever.
What else? Like what kind of other important details are you hiding about
And
this
that's it.
game
I
that
think
we should
that's
know
it.
about?
I think that's it.
Is it? Oh.
So I wonder, would there be like towns that you go to and like talk to people? Like I want to know the extent of like outside of combat. Like they haven't shown anything outside of just fighting these guys with the wraps.
I don't
like,
think
around their
so,
face.
dude.
I don't think anyone
Yeah, I
knows.
don't think there's
I
gonna be any of that shit. I think very
No.
minimum. I think it's gonna be like this,
Minimum.
and then like you said, a little vendor. I don't think
I
there's gonna
expect it to be like
villages with people and
Dark
NPCs.
Souls, where you're wandering around the ruins of like a civilization, and there might be an NPC here and there that you talk to. but,
Yeah,
like,
I guess
I
so.
doubt there'll be
Makes more sense.
a bustling community with the hub area or whatever. But maybe.
I guess also if it's only 10 to 12 hours long, it wouldn't need like a city area, I suppose.
Fluke Rogi says you really should try Asgard's 2 if you have it sat there in your library. Still one of the best games on Quest for me, and it just got a Quest 3 graphics update. Yeah, why are you being such a Quest hater?
I would play it for sure if
Jackpot?
I could.
I'm not. I just got the Questicle 3 like a month or two ago, and we've been playing all these other games with Amanda, and Amanda doesn't let me touch it anymore. Every time I try to grab the Quest now, she's like, she threatens me. I don't want to tell you the things she says she's gonna do to me, so I haven't played as much
It's a
with the
lie.
Quest 3.
It's just it's not.
But I
not
will.
charged.
I think
What do
Jack.
you mean a first charge? The battery is great on the Quest 3, actually, compared to
Really?
the Quest 2.
How long?
Yeah, it's good.
What are we talking here? 3 hours?
It depends where you're playing. Yeah, you can get like 3 hours. If you play the mixed reality, that milks the shit out of your battery. You're playing that pool game, you probably play like an hour and a half if you're lucky.
Damn.
Full battery. Yeah.
Just from having your fucking
But it's a good
camera
game.
on. All right.
Yeah,
I
but it's
believe you.
cool.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Extra
I
says.
think Jackpot is. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go on.
So yeah, buy a
I-
Quest. This is what you guys were gonna say.
I think
Buy a
I think
Quest.
Jackpot's a lot like me. Like
bitch.
I like playing. I like playing mainly like multiplayer games, and
Yeah.
Okay.
that's usually my
That's fair
go-to.
enough. That's
But
fair enough.
there's just not enough of them, and that's why I really want to play Contractors because it looks like the best multiplayer game.
Sometimes you
I
just
can't
want to sink into a big single.
Are we
player
talking about
experience.
contractors today? No, right?
No, can
Buy
we
it.
just give it a
Buy
rest?
it.
Just give it a rest
Buy
for
it.
one fucking
Buy
time.
it. It's the best game ever.
It's not coming out for
And it
years.
keeps getting better.
Extra says Asgard's Wrath 2 is okay. The visuals are nowhere near Behemoth since Asgard's Wrath 2 is on mobile, but so is Behemoth. Now I'm sure the Behemoth footage on Quest is probably going to look a lot worse than what we're seeing here, but still not unrecognizable, I would imagine. Just it'll be like similar to Saints and Sinners, you know.
Yeah.
Chopped says, so if I put some shit in a bag, whisper weed into that bitch, and shake it up, we getting stoned. You can try it.
Why?
You can try. You're gonna be stoned anyway. So what do you need to get more stoned for? You're just always gonna be stoned. HDS says Corey Bollard from God of War is watching this right now. I believe it. How you doing, Corey? I'm happy to hear you got back with the wife. Chaos says happy wife, happy life, Mr. Jackpot. There you go. You keeping her happy with the quest?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she likes it.
she's a gamer girl now. Is that it? Gamer girl.
Well,
Trademark.
I mean, she says she play games, but I'm not trying to say you're not a gamer if you do this, but she does the mobile shit,
Yeah,
the
she's not a
weed
gamer.
game.
She's not a gamer.
She's fucking
Phone
sells
it.
so much weed. She got all kinds of weed brands, all kinds of fucking strains, everything. Apparently, she's like top 2 in the fucking game in whatever region. She doesn't pay any money. She's like, how's this motherfucker has so many billions? It's like, dude, because they pay real money. Like, you don't fucking. But anyways, so she plays those games because the VR was too fucking bad for her. And now she plays the VR a lot.
See,
she likes the fishing game.
She's the good example of how you can easily get by motion sickness if you're not
Yeah.
a stupid
You
little
just need to
bitch
be in
that
a
complains about getting
dedicated
sick.
relationship with someone for 10, 15 years,
Well-
and then
No,
slowly
you
wear
said-
down.
You
Well,
said that
she's-
You said how long was it before she was able to start playing them? Like a couple days, you said, right?
Yeah, it was quick. Well, first she
There you
got
go.
freaked out because we played. She's like, "Holy shit!" Like the first time she played Phasmo, she was kind of
Decepticon.
like
She's
weirded
scared
out
of
because
Decepticon.
every
Who's
time
this
just his
fucking
voice,
creep?
his laugh.
This is
Yeah,
creepy.
creep.
Why is he
creep
following
guy.
me? Why is he following me
Yeah,
everywhere?
he's a creep. He's a creep. But we play Phasmo, and she's always watched us play Phasmo, so it was trippy for her to be in the room when she's only seen it flat, right?
Yeah.
But it took her a little bit. It took her a couple times. But the I think what it was for her is the blurriness of the Quest 2 compared to the Quest 3. That made her a lot easier for her to jump into the VR. And it did took her like you said, probably 3 or 4 times of playing. But it wasn't like, oh fuck, I need to start. Like the first time she played a little bit after 2 hours, she was like, okay, maybe I need to take a little break. But she plays fucking Power Washing Simulator for fucking hours, dude. She fucking does that shit
And
all
the
the time.
house outside filthy. She could be out there cleaning it.
It's a mess in here. Look at. But she cleans the shit out of those vans in VR.
Yeah, well, that'd be
But
satisfying.
yeah,
I
it
understand the
only
appeal.
took about 3 days, and she's getting all the same shit. The weird VR dreams. She's like, man,
Yeah.
fucking weird ass VR dreams I'm having, and all this shit. But yeah, it took her about 3 days, and now she doesn't really get dizzy as much, and she plays everything. I mean, we played Phasmo, we played VR Chat,
go.
we played pretty much a lot of shit, and she's good to go.
A couple days of getting through it, and now she can enjoy all the VR. That's all you got to do. All these idiots out there can complain about like, oh, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
wanna
literally
play
is a little bit, and there's all the fucking settings. At the beginning, she did the
You're
first
missing
day
out
she
on-
did the click turning, and then the second day she did the smooth. She did everything, and it's not only like there's so much shit to do. I know I'm talking about the quest only, but there's so much shit to do than just play a game by yourself. Fucking activities with friends, even on the PSVR 2. There's a lot of shit that you can do that not necessarily it's
Skate
intense
porn. This is
VR.
skate porn. That's what
Jump
you're talking about.
exactly. Not just jumping around and fucking, playing Gran Turismo or whatever the fuck it is that it makes you dizzy. There's a lot of things that you can take it slow. So
Do you know what?
3
This is
days.
completely random, but just what I always thought would be cool is like, let's say for example, Amanda, you get her in a game of Phasmophobia, and then while she's in the game, somehow you either like redecorate the house that she's in, or transport her to another house that's identical to the house that they're in Phasmophobia, and then she takes off the headset, and she's by herself. She's by herself, and it's all dark. I just think that would be cool. Anyway, not specifically Amanda,
fucking
not specifically Amanda, but
Yeah, let me just fucking redecorate the house while she's in the fucking headset. God,
in
next
a way
topic.
that makes sense, but like just
No, it does not
bamboozle
make
A
someone.
nice
Bamboozle someone.
$10,000 prank that would be.
But you know what?
Okay,
Talking about
drug
that
them,
will be
drug
cool. I think in the future it will be pretty possible. And I thought mixed reality was kind of lame at the beginning. I was like, yeah, fucking whack. But once you actually play it and you have the space to do it, like we played the pool game and I didn't move the table at all, just left it. And it really feels like said it was unfortunate because I felt like Decepticon and LSB were in my living room, right? And
So
just
did
that immersion.
do they think that you're in their living room then? Or are they able to see your living room? How does that work?
No, they can't see my camera, but they can see my avatar move. Like I could see them in my living room,
So
and
do
they
they,
could see
like,
me in their like.
do you
LSB
see them
has a
like
stream.
walking through walls and shit in your house because they've got like a different layout? Like are they like
Not
phasing
really,
through things
because
and
most people are staying close-ish to the table.
shit? Okay.
So if like when I was there, I fucking walked to the kitchen. I'm sure maybe in fucking LSB's room or whatever was small enough. But for the most part, it doesn't. Like you don't need a lot of that space. So just little things like that. It makes it very immersive to me and to a lot of people. So what I'm getting at is it doesn't have to be very intense. Like Mus is saying, "Oh, I can't do this because it makes me dizzy." I understand that, but it really doesn't take that much, and you got to take it easy. In 2-3 days, you'll be good to go. And I do think a lot of people are missing out in a lot of the VR stuff.
It's a rite of passage for some people. You got to be determined to get through a bit of motion sickness to evolve into the higher platform of gaming, which is VR, and not everybody can do it.
Join us.
But it's weird to me, Mus, because a lot of people are like, "Ah, this sounds fucking lame." But like for me, I would expect if you like video games, the ultimate thing is be inside the fucking game, right? Because that's what you're. So why are you not interested in fucking doing this? So for me, that's just a weird thing I don't understand. For people, it's like, why don't you want to get involved in this fucking shit?
They're scared of change and being taken away from what they
do
know.
think that so many people just think it's like 3D TV. Like they don't really understand what it is. Like so many people
I'm
haven't tried it.
I'm sure a lot of
They
people
need to do demos. They need to do demos in fucking Best Buy and shit like that. Get all the all the stomach bugs that they got over there with GT. Just share the headset all over
Spread
Best Buys and let
COVID-20
people.
on the way, please.
There you go. But get a Quest and then go next door to the pharmacy and get fucking diarrhea medicine.
Trying to catch up on the chat. I'm sorry we've ignored you for so long. SDS says, I like the way you can catch the arrow and throw it back and use it on the enemy. Yeah, that was just like one of the cool highlights of the trailer. Also using the grapple hook to pick up a sword that was on the ground as well. That was a nice little trick. VRNMX says Asgard's Wrath 2 feels totally like God of War 3.
Really?
To me, that's interesting. God of War 3 is almost top-down hack and slash.
God of War 3
not
is
really
just
open
shit.
world or P3, but yeah, God of War 3 is fucking sick as hell. It's actually my favorite one, including the new ones. Durbin Brown says, always need more medication. Doctor's orders. How are you doing, Durbin Brown? Get off the drugs. Chop says, I only do hard drugs now. Sorry, go on.
I just want to say, I also think that the older God of War games are better than the new ones.
Yeah.
Just in terms of fun gameplay, I think the older ones are funner to play than the new ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, the newer ones are better production and story and all that kind of stuff. But gameplay, I think the older ones are funner.
I think, honestly, I think the combat is better in the newer ones. I just think it's the boss fights. Like, they're way worse in the new ones compared to the originals, where it's like scaling the fucking mountain titans and shit.
Yeah.
That was
It's fucking badass.
But yeah, they're all good. I don't think there's any bad God of War games. Just chimed in. What did I miss? Says Edified Till I Die. Any important screaming? Not yet. We haven't got to the negativity yet, though. VR mixes drugs to cope with Sony bullshit. I get it. Chop says, one of the 500 meds we have for your heart. You know how the US is setting its meds. They're keeping you sick, Chopped. They're holding your medicine and they're feeding you poison so that they can make money off your sickness. That's what they're doing. Honestly, though, the American healthcare system frightens me. I hear stories like, if you have a baby over there, it's like $10,000 to have a baby over there. Like, fucking hell.
Scam.
How are you able to live? I don't know how you do it. Like,
everybody's in debt.
It's crazy. Anyway, let's not get political. I don't give a shit.
No, let's not talk about the fucking health system in America.
So Trump has been indicted. Probably, but I won't complain at more big games. Extra says, how do you know Behemoth isn't even out? I don't know what he's talking about.
How about you? Probably saying some lies.
I don't know. Pump has his lady locked away in a castle somewhere. I could.
Castle.
Astia says, because Behemoth is not bigger than Asgard's 2. Let me get that clear. Behemoth. Oh yeah, Behemoth is definitely a smaller game in terms of it's linear, 10 to 12 hours, whereas Asgard's Wrath is 70, 80 hour thing.
What? No.
Asgard's Wrath 2. It's like a big open world RPG. You'd take 40, 50 at least, surely. No?
It's a very long game.
It's a big
fucking 60 hours to be. No, it says right here 26 hours
for everything, or just if you mainline
it. I don't know. Here it says 26. Some other places 60. Everybody's full of shit.
There you go, 60. Why don't you list out the one that I said? Just try and make me look wrong.
Because it's probably wrong.
You're a bitch.
That seems ridiculous.
You're gonna mix this.
Now there's playtime 134 hours. Shut the fuck up. Nobody knows. It's a mystery.
Why are you angry about that? You got that in your library. You got all that hours of content in your library. You seem upset about it. I had motion sickness in gaming in the 90s in Wolfenstein and in 2017 on PSVR 1. It goes away soon, says Viernemeg. Yep. People who get motion sickness from flat games interest me. It's like, what's going on? What's wrong with you that you can't look at a little box with moving images without getting sick? What's going on?
You'll never make it in the VR gaming world.
Never. Yeah, you're a rare exception. If you're in you managed to stick it. All right, we'll move on to the next topic because we'll be here all day. We're still on the first topic and it's an hour in. So the next thing they showed at the state of play was we finally got gameplay for Alien Rogue Incursion coming holiday 2024.
Gameplay.
Yes. Technically, yes.
Ten frame per second.
The entire trailer is 53 seconds, and I think there's 16 seconds of actual footage. There's a loud super chat going on right now.
Mark has just donated 10 through super chat. So damn moist. Asgard's Wrath 2 on Quest 3 is very good.
Marry me?
God of War like. Asgard's is that long if you do everything.
Oh, yeah.
Any news on Aces of Thunder? I think they've been silent because it will be free to play.
I'm just reading out the voice. Just give me a sec. Okay, so let me read out that because I was talking over. I should really disable that text to speech. First of all, Mark, thank you very much for the $10 dues. He says Asgard Wrath. Sorry, let me start again. This $10 deserves perfection. Asgard's Wrath 2 on Quest 3 is very good. God of War like. Asgard's is that long if you do everything. Any news on Aces of Thunder? I think they've been silent because it will be free to play.
Don't get me excited because I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, hold on. War Thunder is free to play. That's their other franchise, and this is like a spin-off of that franchise.
So would they, if they're gonna make it free to play, that means it would probably be a PlayStation Plus monthly game. Do you think?
No, but if they have it free to play, then they have to.
Oh no, then it wouldn't be on
passes, cosmetics.
You got a lot of cosmetics to make the money.
Can you survive if because right now it's a PSVR 2 exclusive, as far as we know. Can you really live off? People buying cosmetic DLCs or whatever. I don't know if you can afford to do that.
If the game is good, people will play that shit and they'll buy the cosmetics.
Is there enough people though? On PSVR 2?
No, there's 20 headsets.
No. So. I doubt it will be free to play, Mark. If I'm being honest, I'm actually a little bit nervous about the silence. I'm getting a little bit nervous about the silence. It's been taking so long.
I'm not nervous.
I'm wondering if it's going to be ported to Quest as well, which I wouldn't mind, because if we get crossplay, it'll keep it alive a lot longer than if it was just
Crossplay
PSVR
would be good.
But yeah, I'm expecting it to be a paid game.
$30.
And then if it was free to play, I'd be a little bit worried about how they're going to monetize it.
Yeah, I don't need another season pass to deal with like that.
Yeah, yeah. Although they've got loads of experience with War Thunder, so maybe they know what they're doing when it comes to monetizing. I just don't know if this game could even hope to have a fraction of that kind of player base that they have with War Thunder.
It wouldn't. They just need to sell it.
Yeah.
Sell the game and give it to us, and that's it.
But once again, Mark, thank you very much for the $10 dues. Anyway, as we were saying, Alien, Rogue Incursion. Jackpot was mentioning the 10 frames per second there. It's crazy that this wasn't like, okay, I know it's only officially revealed that we know about us in the last like month or two, but we knew an Aliens game was being worked on by Servios for like 2 years or something now.
Yeah.
And in all this
2
time,
or 3 years.
When the big reveal finally comes, like, because they teased the title of it like a month ago, and then it's like, oh, gameplay coming in the summer or whatever, and then they show 16 seconds of framey, choppy.
It's weird. Why do you think that is? Is it they fucked up or what? Because the game is not broken. It's not the game sucks. So like I'm not. What the fuck was that for?
I mean, it's still in progress, so like I just think it's not ready to be shown. But if I was in their position, I wouldn't have shown those parts because it doesn't all look framey.
Yeah.
At least some of it looks better than other parts, you know, in terms of like it's not as obviously choppy. And I'm not someone who notices frame drops usually. Like I've enjoyed Oblivion on PS3, which was fucking ridiculous. And I'm like, when I was doing the live stream for this, like the live reaction, and immediately I was like, why does that look so choppy? Is that my end or is that them or what? So it's bad when I notice it, you know?
Maybe it just didn't get captured properly. Like maybe someone screwed up.
But you got to double check that, don't you? Like triple.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't be the first time that something like this happened. Like mistakes like this have happened at E3, like on stage when people are showing games.
That's true, but that's more like technical issues. But like this doesn't seem to be like this. Like this would have to go through pass-throughs. Like Sony themselves.
They got 30 minutes of video.
Check
Everybody, at least watch it. 15 people watch it and tell me there's a fuck up. And this was, in my opinion, pretty obvious. But I'm not worried about the game. I'm not worried. I'm just hoping that it's not too actiony. You know, I don't hope it's too overpowered with the gun. I hope it's a good balance of scary and, you know, tense and maybe a little bit of you can kill the bitches. But I just don't hope it's very action.
Well, in fairness, like this trailer, I know it's short, but it did focus like solely on horror. Like there was no, like you're holding the gun, but they never shoot the gun. You know?
No, but he has a gun. Like that's what gives me the how much.
No, I get you. It's just that they definitely like this. You could think this is a sequel to Alien Isolation, the way they showed it. You know?
Yeah, and like nothing
is there
about
a gun in Alien Isolation?
There's a flamethrower, I think.
Yeah, but you never actually try to fight it. Like it's always
so, like maybe this is similar. Like maybe there's like smaller minions like the facehuggers you shoot them, but then you don't fuck with the alien itself. Like I don't know.
Maybe. But like nothing about this like short little clip thing here tells me like, oh, that's action, like action based.
Yeah. So it's going to be if it does turn out to be action based, then it's going to be a little bit like, hold on, this is not really what you were.
Well, not action based, but I hope it's not. You know, there's some games that you get a gun, like you told me. I haven't finished Resident Evil 7, but it was scary as fuck the first 2 hours. And then you told me you get a gun and a shotgun. And it's like, I'm sure it's scary too, but it's not like Alien Isolation. You're just fucking running away and being fucking terrified all the time and being hopeless or helpless or whatever the fuck the word is.
If I was had like playing Madison and if I got like a shotgun in Madison, I'm sure it would have been a lot less scarier at that point onwards. But that's some people. Not everyone feels that way. Like some people think Resident Evil 7 was terrifying throughout the whole thing, but for me it was just when you couldn't defend yourself. And outside of that was just like fun action, shooting, like still tense when you're being hunted by like Jack or whatever.
I don't know when you fought Marguerite in that game. You had a lot of guns, and that was still creepy as hell fighting her.
Yeah, but she was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. She's just terrifying, like
Yeah.
crawling around the ceilings and walls, and you're
her
just like,
fucking her vagina was like, and all the fucking stuff coming out.
yeah,
It's like, Jesus.
all the hornets coming out of her. And,
No spoilers. No spoilers.
So, well, fucking play it.
That
You're never
sounded
gonna
good.
play it.
That
You're never
sounded
gonna
good.
play it.
Vagina hornets? Vagina hornets?
Yeah.
Nah,
I
you
don't even know if
ruined
they're
the
hornets.
whole
Some
game for
fucking
me.
insects were coming out.
Well,
but the
fuck.
very first part, like the first time you see her, like her long extended arm comes through that like fucking window, and it's like, Jesus.
that window for the jump scare. Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, what are people saying? What are people saying?
They hate you.
Important says, damn, 45 viewers, Doom sells. We're in the big leagues now. Hello, 45 people. Probably all gone now. Bad Robo, how you doing? Says there are only 2 headsets enough to play multiplayer. There are only 2 headsets enough to play
I think he's
multiplayer?
talking Quest 3 and PlayStation VR 2, maybe? Is what he means.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a joke, because I can't remember what we were talking about. I assume Aces of Thunder, but I don't know what specifically.
I think he's talking about crossplay. Like, if you have the 2 headsets, that's enough to play multiplayer games.
Unless it's a joke, it's like only 2 people are needed to play.
Oh.
I don't know. 1v1.
Maybe.
Edify Till I Die says, it seems like they are abandoning this, but I can't see that happening, because we haven't gotten a wave of hybrid games outside of No Man's Sky, which already was Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil 4, and there has to be more than Behemoth. Yep. Well, we'll talk about that very soon. Distracted says, I know the core audience of PSVR 2 as it stands. They wouldn't spend money on cosmetics for a flight game.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that because I wouldn't. I don't think I would. No matter how good. Well, I did it for Firewall, but it's not really an airplane game. I don't know if I'd love a playing game as much as I would a game like Firewall.
Yeah, probably not, but it can get close if it's a fucking good game and they support it, and it has. I think it could be really up there.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could have a pretty cool paint scheme on your plane that makes you stand out.
Yeah, if you want to buy the color orange, that's going to be $5. If you want to paint orange on your plane,
blue is $20.
Ooh, that's a popular choice.
Premium.
They got like a stock market system where the popular ones are more expensive.
Yeah.
Donnie says, "What the fuck is this? 45 people watching and only 20 thumbs. Stop watching for free and pay the fee." I like your little rhymes there, Donnie. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Donnie putting the pressure.
Was that a rhyme?
He was, yeah. He's probably
Fucking
a chat
poet.
GPT, I'd say. LSP
Damn,
says,
Donnie. You gotta let him talk to you like that, Donnie.
16 seconds of gameplay is better than only getting a cinematic trailer like Batman on Thursday. Yeah, but with Batman, isn't like they said at the end of that trailer, we're going to have the reveal in like June fucking whatever.
Yeah, they have a
Well,
date
you said
to
Saturday,
show like
Thursday,
actual
yeah.
gameplay. Yeah.
So I don't mind that. Same with Behemoth. No, sorry, not Behemoth. I don't know. It's gone on in my head. Edify to that guy says, boost them likes, motherfuckers. Thank you very much. LSB says, Sony probably pressured them to show us. Well, it's probably, yeah, that could be it. That could be it. They might have a marketing deal with Sony where they're forced to show something. But the worrying thing is that this game is supposed to be out at the end of the year and they can only show that. I mean, I know there's still a lot of time, 6 months to get it done. I just suspect this is going to be a 2025 game. I can see it slipping. Which is good because it would be nice to have something to look forward to in 2025, you know?
A lot of the game could be finished. Maybe it's just like the polishing that they need to get to like, smooth it out and
maybe
all that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't mean the game's not far along technically if you're seeing it like stutter in a quick little clip.
Yeah, that's fair. I could be being too harsh. It's just that you only have the chance to make one good first impression, and
true,
you have to try really hard to make sure that's as best as can be. And like people like kind of funny games, they're like making fun of the frame rates and shit like that, and it's Alien has a history of kind of having shitty games as well, so that's not going to help us.
I'm not worried.
That's fine. You don't need to be worried. All right. Maybe the people.
Listen, a lot of times we are like, I'm saying community and stuff like, oh, we want these people to join, and of course we want it because not because we could give a fuck about them, but we want that more people to join so developers put more money and we get better games and all that shit. But I just feel like There's just some people that for some weird reason they just don't fucking want to, and they were just never gonna get convinced, regardless of how fucking good these games are gonna look. They're always gonna find out, nah, I don't want this. Oh, it's just too much. Like I just want to put a fucking headset on my head.
Give
and
up. Then. You gotta. If that's the
whatever.
attitude, then you just gotta give up and say viewer.
No, you just don't have the expectations of, oh, we're gonna get GTA 5 on PlayStation VR 2 and like stuff like that. You know, like some idiot that I know.
It's not. That should have been what happened. That should have been.
I know, but that was not realistic.
It is realistic.
It can happen, but it's
why
not
was
gonna
LA
happen.
Noire was in PSVR 1? You know,
Because that's when they were, like-
Skyrim was on PSVR 1. Yes, of course,
when
that was
somebody
before
cared in
Sony.
Sony
That
about
yeah, but we
VR.
didn't back then. I didn't know Sony didn't care. You know, so that's why I was saying maybe
Told
they got
you.
a deal. You didn't know.
Told you.
Why did you fucking
You
buy it then?
bamboozled.
Why did you buy it then?
Because
You
I
know?
thought Firewall was gonna be good. I told you the only reason why I'm buying
Get
fucking
fucking
PlayStation
bamboozled,
VR
bitch.
2 is to get Firewall, and I got fucked over really bad. We got 4 months. 1 month didn't work, and it was just disgusting. And I don't blame it on Firewall. I blame it on Sony. So we should have had a beta. I don't want to bring it up, but yeah, that's it.
Them aggressive likes. Thank you, Edify Till I Die. But yeah, that's a good point from LSP that Sony probably did pressure them to show us. They probably did have some kind of a agreement in place that they had to show something at a state of play.
I have to. I want to go back one of these days and look at it. Watch through every touching tip. I don't think there's one that has gone by that we didn't go back to Firewall just for a brief second. just for
Possible.
It's cooled down a lot.
I don't-
It's cooled down a lot in recent weeks. You know, it's kind of
Yeah, but still, like it always
not-
at least comes up.
it's not a 2-hour discussion anymore. You know.
No, we don't go on rants anymore. Thinking.
We were all wrong though. We thought that at least the game was gonna be for a year.
What
Let's
happens?
just hope
Yeah.
that nobody fucking. I mean, people play that
what
shit, but like, that shit is dead as fuck.
It's what happens when your heart gets broken that hard.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
you gotta rant
heartbreak.
about it for so
It's
long.
heartbreak.
disgusting.
LSP says, I mean, all they had to show was Behemoth, so ... Yes. But this would have been agreed like long in advance. So Sony probably didn't know that they weren't going to have anything ready to show. And they probably agreed to it saying, yeah, we'll have something to show by then. But they didn't. Well, they did, but, you know, not as polished as we would like. But yeah,
What do you think this game's gonna be?
How much?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 40. I think... well, maybe that Aliens IP will drive it up to fucking 60.
Ah, fuck no! Don't even say that.
60.
No,
60 on
no.
PSN. 60 on PSN. 50 on fucking Quest. Don't you get like cheap or something?
My
Is
guess
that
would
my
be.
imagination?
Yeah,
my
you
guess
guys
would-
got the Sony fucking extra charge.
Sorry for the
So
noisy bottle.
I would say $49.99 US, which
Yeah.
would make it like $70 for me. But
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a safe. That's a safe. one.
the Canadian tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think $49.99 is probably what
But what was Ghostbusters?
I just hope it's-
What was Ghostbusters? Because that's a big IP as well.
Ghostbusters. I don't
Was that like
think it was worth
50-ish?
it.
Was it?
I can't.
it wasn't
on the
cheap.
on the
Ooh.
PlayStation.
I think we
or
were whinging
they're
about the
both
fucking
same
price. I think we were like, ooh, that's a bit steep. You know, the original price now. It could be on sale now for all we know.
So it's fucking trash game.
War Room, how you
Oh,
doing?
this is the flatty version. I don't know, but don't buy it.
You haven't played it. It could be decent.
I haven't played it because it doesn't. $30. 30 bucks.
I don't think it
on
launched
the
it
Quest.
on 30 though.
On the
On the
Quest.
Quest, okay. Anyway, Ghost Shot says for a positive, the Flat community reacted decent to Behemoth trailer. Okay, that's nice to
Nice.
see. Normally they're just like, oh, viewer, next, sleeping face emojis. Excuse me, I'm gonna throw up because you were talking about Flat, it made me sick. Warham says, you gonna play Dark Souls again? Oh, sorry, that's not directed towards me. Bad Robo says, yes, it was about PSVR 2 and Aces of Thunder, lol. There we go, all we need is 2. Donnie says, my brain is today smooth to be able to use chat PGT or whatever. Donnie's got, like, did you know Donnie has an IQ of 260? He's in Mensa. Yeah. He's operating on a different wavelength to the rest of us.
That's why he's so good at walkabout mini golf. He calculates and calculates everything
He can
In real
see.
time.
He's like fucking Doctor Strange, like looking at all
Yeah.
the different dimensions and shit. Distracted says, nobody wants to admit this, but the reason PSVR 2 isn't doing well is because everyone waits for a sale. And there's an incentive to wait anyway because the game comes out broken 80% of the time. I don't think there is people, like, I don't think there's enough people who are like, oh, I really want it, I'm just going to wait for a sale. There's probably some, but I don't think there's like the millions that we need there to be for it to be a success.
I'm on the opposite end. I'm the idiot that buys all these games that I still have yet to play. I'm just like stocking them up.
Buy them
I'll get
broken.
her.
They'll all be fixed by the time Muzz plays them.
Yeah, by the time I play them, I'm sure they'll all be running just as smooth as
There
can
you
be.
go. And you're still supporting the developers, so they'd love you. Ali Boy is here. How you doing? Says, why you buy it then? Killed me. I don't know what he's talking about. Probably me talking to Jackpot. Yeah, why did you buy the PSVR 2? And then he said Fire 1. I've lost where I was in the chat. I'm sorry.
Donnie says, I just work wizardly with these words. Damn, this guy's a fucking poet.
Wizardly with these words.
You didn't even finish your sentence. You just went like half of us, and then you're like, "Damn, he's a poet," and then stops.
You were so impressed. No, I gotta stop.
Words are too
Again.
advanced. Yeah, they're too advanced for Jackpot.
That's it. And then
Can't
Alley
go any
Boy, keep
further.
going.
You got a headache. Your nose is bleeding, Jackpot.
Yeah, keep going. It's your turn. I can't take it anymore. You know where we are now.
Ali Boy says, Papa Pump always watching over the PSVR 2 community. There's a lot of people who disagree with you. They would think I'm, what's the word? Someone who's trying to poison the well, maybe.
No, you're a fanboy. Unfortunately, you're
I'm
not
a fanboy.
seeing.
Did you
now
see the
you're
new
now you're
video?
starting to
Did you
see the way.
the latest video I put out?
Well, now because you're finally realizing that there's fucking nothing else, and you should buy
At
a
the
fucking
beginning of that
computer if you
video,
can, or a
at the beginning of
Questicle.
that video, I took a clip from us on the 27th of February saying that if
And you mute me,
Astro,
bitch, when I fucking
you
common
weren't saying
sense was
anything
coming
relevant
in.
wrong. You were talking about,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
I like weed or whatever you're gonna say.
I said that. I told you, bitch, that you're getting leftovers from the Questicle.
This
You
was
think
about
if you get him-
Astrobot. This was about Astrobot.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, and I told you you're a bitch.
Worm says the vibe of the Alien trailer is promising. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, nothing about this trailer looks bad in terms of the content that's actually in it. Like, the alien looks like what you'd expect and what you'd want. Like, the atmosphere looks dark and gloomy and spooky and all that. The only issue was the performance. So, and
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
Servios are
worried
a
about
good developer, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's just that, like, I'm more concerned about what PR damage they may have done by showing this instead of something more polished.
I'm sure they'll come out with a much better looking trailer down the road when they have
I hope
something
so.
better to put together.
LSB says the perfect price point would be $39.99. Yeah, Behemoth is charging $39.99, and that seems like a I don't want to say the AAA, but AAA for Quest maybe. Then yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's the big IP name which you need
Yeah.
to tack on. I think
Yeah.
another $5-10 because it's a
That's right. That's fair.
big name.
Boy says, didn't we get a studio for hybrid games by ex-VR developers? Lol. You wish. A studio for hybrid... Oh, sorry, no. We got Flat to Viewer. That's what you're thinking of. I thought you meant like the Sony Acquire one. There is a studio called Flat to Viewer, and they're working on exactly what you said, making hybrid games from old games as far as I'm aware. But they haven't revealed what the first one is yet. They do have one, and apparently it's like an exciting one, but they can't talk about it yet. Virus is here. How you doing, Virus? I'm sorry.
Like Important says, Important says, I actually do remember way back when I had a Sega Master System. I remember specifically, I really wanted to get Afterburner for that, and at the store it was like $60, I think, for Afterburner for the Sega Master System way back then. So if you would think about how much that would be,
€2,000, $2,000 or something. Yeah, but
like,
wasn't it back
yeah.
then? Like, you're mainly paying for the cartridge itself. Like,
yeah, but
was
still,
that the
like
trick?
a game back then for like this early starting consoles like
Yeah.
Sega Master System, it was like a $60 game. I couldn't afford it. I think I got it for Christmas like the next year, but yeah, it was like I can't afford that. It's way too much for me.
it's crazy. And like, was there a big like used
And
market back then? Or was it like
I
much
don't
harder to
think
get them?
I don't remember too much of the used market back then. There wasn't a whole lot of gaming stores when it first started out. It would be like your big chain stores would carry them in like their electronic sections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, games really haven't gone up over the times like everything else. So it's kind of crazy that we're still getting them pretty much at the same cost as they've always been. It's true.
But don't they found new ways of bleeding us with fucking microtransactions and shit like that.
Well, yeah, and live service.
Yeah.
Game,
So
games as service. Yeah, they'll get more.
Don't worry too much about these billion-dollar corporations. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Alien. I mean, it's hard to make out what to like. It's hard to judge us based on what we've seen. We've seen so little.
I think
But
it's gonna
you
be
know,
fine,
still
though.
hopeful. Still hopeful.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
So then we got to move on to the third item from the States of Play, which is relevant to us, and that is Astrobot.
Is it?
Well, not anymore, I suppose. It's not relevant to us anymore. But we had the rumors. We talked about it last week. The rumors were saying there's going to be an Astrobot, but it's not going to be on PSVR 2. And there was some people who were like, no, that couldn't be possible. That's not going to happen. They wouldn't do that. And lo and behold, the rumors were true. The leak was 100% correct. And at the very end, they announced it's for PS5 only. It's coming out in September. And this, for me, is a straw that breaks the camel's back when it comes to me having any kind of hope for Sony caring about PSVR 2, for Sony supporting it themselves. I think from now on, it's a third-party machine. And I think those third parties are going to dry up.
It's a definite major black flag, basically saying like it's not a good sign.
And we've had red flags, but if we're talking black flag, I mean that's death. That's a death flag. You know, a black flag is a death flag.
That's what I mean. Well, red flag
Looks
going
good
into...
though. I want to buy it.
My sons have watched this 100 times. They they can't wait for this.
Oh, yeah.
Get it for them. But this is like super. Like, listen, if this had PSVR 2 support, I probably wouldn't play it. So it's not like I personally care that this is not coming to PSVR 2. It's just that it's a sign of where Sony is. You know.
Well, there's been plenty of signs, buddy. You just don't.
I know that's what I'm saying, but this is the
you're
straw.
just like all
This
those
is the
people are like
straw.
everything is great right now.
Oh
You
my
guys
God,
still,
where have you
everything's
been?
fine.
You've been on this podcast for the last 6 months, where we've been fucking talking about red flag.
And go back to the first
since
episodes,
Firewall,
and I
ever
keep
since
telling
First
you the same
Contact
shit.
shut down. Ever since First
You're like,
Contact
no,
shut
ways,
down.
it's coming here. Look at this. Look at this. It's coming here. It's coming here. Look at this. Look at this. Look
you're
at this
lying.
game. Look at this
You're
great game.
lying. False.
Nope.
But you really are a horrible little centipede. Don't listen to this man.
What you say
Hold
is
on,
not
I gotta
true.
mute
It's
myself. I
not
gotta mute
true.
myself.
Fake
Yeah.
news.
Better be
Fake news.
Hey, shit, Durban Brown. Will you marry me? Damn, he's on the fucking sex line again. Spud sluts. He can't get enough. But yeah, sorry. So my whole argument is, and I put out a video about this a couple of days ago saying basically PSVR 2 is fucked. I stand by it. The fact that Behemoth is coming out, the fact that Alien's coming out, all these other games are coming out doesn't change that for me, because all those games were in development before this fucking series of disasters. Red flags and black flags all came together, and this is the nail in the coffin. This is
what we need to see now. What we need to wait for is when will we see the next game announcement? Like, we already know all the games that were in development, and the Aliens game, although we're just starting to see bits of it now, we knew it was already in development like 2 or 3 years. So like, when are they gonna say like this game is like coming out in 2025 or 2026? Like, when are we gonna see those announcements?
Well, there is some people who seem to be convinced that there's going to be a big showcase in September because they have to show off the PS5 Pro, and that's when we're going to see,
VR games?
No. Well, that's what they're thinking. But in my opinion, like, listen, it would be fine if Asobi was flat as long as they were replacing it with other first-party support. Like, where's The Last of Us? Where's God of War? Where's fucking Twisted Metal? Where's all these other things that they should be supporting PSVR 2 with? They're not supporting it with anything anymore. Basically, it was Horizon Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, and Firewall Ultra, and those were all penciled in. The ink was, dry on those, like in fucking 2017, 18, whatever, like a long time ago. And since then, there's been changes in leadership. I think, I don't know who,
right?
But I think whoever came in, like that Hiroki Totoki maybe, or whatever his fucking name is. Sorry. Just rhymes. It's ridiculous when the first name and the last name rhymes to me.
It rhymes, so it has to be right.
Maybe he's like, listen, this is a fucking waste of money. You're not making any money on this. Cut it, you know? And
Maybe.
they had that disastrous live service thing from Jim Ryan that they walked back on. They cancelled like 5 or 6 games, including The Last of Us, and they sunk hundreds of millions into that. So they're probably thinking to themselves, well, we can't afford this PSVR 2 experiment anymore. You know, I'm not saying they're not going to be new games. I'm just saying they're leaving it open for third parties to do all the work now. I'm not expecting any more first party support from this. If there is, I'll be shocked. Maybe Gran Turismo 8.
There is a game. I send it to you on the Discord.
What are you talking about?
I sent you a game that supposedly it's exclusive for the PSVR.
Oh, that's coming up later on.
You're welcome.
But that's not Sony.
All right, well then
That's
no.
third party.
Sony's never gonna do anything. Yeah.
But I'm talking specifically about a third party. Or sorry, first party.
Yeah.
But people are saying, listen, don't worry. Even if Sony don't do it, like we still have games like Madison. We still have, you know, the games we've been talking about, Behemoth, whatever. But like I'm saying, when they start to see Sony aren't doing anything to support it, like it's at 1.5 million users. Let's pretend it is. I don't know what the exact number is, but let's say it's 1.5 million or even 2 million if you want to. That's a low number, right? So if you're making a third party game, you're looking at that and you're looking at Quest and you're thinking, is it going to be worth my time porting it from the Quest? And by the way, it has to be ported. It's definitely not worth your time making this exclusive. So at minimum, now
even as a consumer, like let's say that you have a PS5, right? You have a PS5, but you don't have VR at all, and you're like, oh man, I want to get into VR. Most people are just gonna go buy a fucking Quest because of all the other things you can do. Just like people get a PlayStation, right? Because of the exclusives, the games. I just don't see people jumping and getting a headset now if you don't have VR at all, because people would just prefer, in my opinion, to go to the Quest because it's just cheaper and there's more stuff to do, and you know this shit is not gonna be, you know, as supported. So I think it's even fucking worse, you know, because it's just like, who the fuck is gonna buy the headset now? The PC people are not gonna buy the headset because you're not supporting any of the shit that is worth buying the headset for. Okay, whatever.
That's next topic, but we get into that. But yeah,
yeah, that's where Sony is like dropping the ball, is because like what is their reason for someone to buy a PSVR 2 over a Quest 3? That's like their big downfall, is like not giving people enough reason to choose their headset. Like they started off strong,
yes,
but then just fizzled out.
And
let me get all bamboozled so we can all buy it, and they're like, never mind, that's it.
And let me be crystal clear as well, because anytime I brought this up, people keep bringing this up as if I don't acknowledge this, or like I'm pretending it's not happening. Like Muzz said, the first 15 months even, because we just got Madison, was excellent. You know, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon, even though Horizon didn't maybe live up to the expectations we might have had for us, still it was a good, strong, probably cost them a lot of money to make. You know, they invested into it. And then you had the 2 Resident Evil games that they funded. Firewall, which obviously didn't go where we wanted. And then they funded some other shit as well, like Song in the Smoke and some other smaller things. Legendary Tales as well, I think they backed.
Dude.
We got the best looking, funnest version of Pavlov to play, which we played for like many months before Firewall came out. So that was
that's
good
true.
time.
So I'm not going to pretend there's not already good games there. Listen, that's all. I just want to make that clear. But I don't think you can't go the whole generation relying on those. You know, because if those games haven't sold people on us, you need new games that will sell people on us. If you're not getting the new games that sell people on us, then nobody else is going to buy it. You know, not in any significant numbers.
So like right now, you tell people what games are. Hey, get a PlayStation VR 2 for what? Yeah, you can tell them Gran Turismo, Resident Evil, but overall, it's fucking expensive.
Well, I wouldn't recommend
it. It's a lot of money.
At this way it is now, I wouldn't recommend it. You know, unless because there is people out there who are like, I'd buy it just for Gran Turismo 7 and the racing wheel setup, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
If that's what you're into, fine. But for the average Joe, you're spending more than it costs for the PS5, so you would expect at least something comparable to the library they get on PS5. But compared to what they're playing on the cheaper console, it's like, you know, it's embarrassing almost.
Or just at least like something of a roadmap from Sony saying like, this is what we have planned for the headset. That's all. Like that's
nothing.
The
blank page.
That's it. Yeah. Blank page.
There you go. Now
This
leave
is
me
a-
alone.
Just gives you
This
the
is Sony
finger, then fuck
Wolverine.
you.
this is our extensive plans here, right here. This is our plans.
With a big fuck you finger.
Just a cock, just a big cock.
Thanks for the $600.
Yeah, thanks for all that money. I hope you had fun with the few games that we've released for you. There you go.
God damn it, Firewall.
Yeah,
Firewall was the beginning of the end. That was the
first
kinda
red
like
flag.
the
That was the
start.
first big.
That
red
was the
flag.
first.
Well,
first,
listen, the very first one was the price. When they revealed the price, it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh.
You were like, oh yeah, that's good, that's good. Everybody was like
Listen,
trying to justify in the scheme of things.
for the technology that's in us, it
But
was good. It is
so
It is
expensive
good.
for what it is
for
asking people to pay.
No,
fucking
exactly for that. I was never like,
Okay,
it wasn't going to go
But
mainstream at that
it-
price.
no, nothing.
But
It's
it-
never gonna. Quest is not mainstream. It's never gonna go mainstream
It's
until
practically
many, many years.
mainstream.
I mean,
It's the closest thing to mainstream we have in VR.
I honestly don't think VR is gonna go mainstream until we finally see like a Grand Theft Auto like put into VR.
Well, there you go. And who was in the best
Or-
position?
or-
Who
or
was in the
some-
best
or
position to
something.
do that this generation?
Yeah, or something equivalent to it, like Fortnite. If Fortnite ever gets like a VR part to it, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it has to be a big scale that people have to be like, okay, now I have to try it, and like all like the millions of streamers that play these games, like, okay, I'll buy a headset to stream it for everybody, and then it just takes off, kind of thing.
But for the people who seem to
But-
think that Sony, they do have stuff up their sleeve, they're just not telling us about it for whatever reason. Like what studios?
Well, that's a stupid plan.
Which
That's a
Sony-
stupid ass
it's
plan.
like Xbox. No way, the Xbox. We're gonna get good games this year. This year, you guys will see. And it's just like,
Yeah.
when the
But if
fuck
you-
are you guys gonna sell you shit and buy a PlayStation? Like,
If
what's
you
the
think
point?
about it though, like which studios will be working on it? They've shut down Sony London. The Fire Sprite, the people who made Call of the Mountain, they fired the director of that game. They let off a lot of people in that studio as well. Probably, mostly the ones who worked on Call of the Mountain, if I was to guess. And we saw the Insomniac leak for 10 years. Their next 10 years of games leaked, not a single VR title, so they're not interested. So where are the first-party games going to come from? Not Team Asobi either.
Well, even hypothetically, if they do have all these plans, like, why the hell are they keeping them secret? Like, how is that a
Because
good
they don't,
idea?
because they don't have any plans.
They don't have plans. If
They
they
don't
did
give
have
a
plans
fuck.
and they're keeping them to themselves until like they're ready to show them off, it's like, you guys are dumbasses, because like, are you not paying attention to social media everywhere and like what the conversation is right now about your headset, and you're just sitting on like what 4 or 5 awesome ideas that you haven't
Even if
said anything
even if
about
a
yet?
game like wasn't coming out for 4 years, just fucking show the title or
Yes,
something and say we're working
anything.
on this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I would rather them say like, we have a plan for this awesome, really good whatever game it is, but it's gonna take years to make.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's at least something.
Yeah, that's
You know,
encouraging us. Maybe the price will go
anything.
down in a few years. Maybe some
Anything.
people start buying into it then. But the way
Never.
it is
But
now,
you're
it's
just
like a disaster.
you're
All over.
just
Sell it.
all they're just letting the people control the conversation right now, and it's not going well for them
Yeah.
because
Yeah, if you don't have a computer, a PC that can run VR,
Anyway.
just sell your fucking VR2 and get a Quest and call it a
No,
day.
don't get the quest. Don't lower yourself to that.
And what are you gonna do?
Go back
Not
to
play
Flash.
anything?
Go
Play
back
the
to Flash.
fucking.
Go back to Flash.
Nah.
All right, go back to Palm.
That's
Go
dumb.
back to Palm.
Destiny
no.
2. Is that you calling me again?
It's you, Muzz.
the siren call is drawing me
the
back.
traveler has missed you, Muzz.
Gotta
Go
go
play
back.
here.
Xbox,
Sorry
man.
for
Go play Xbox.
I'm sorry for ignoring so many comments. It's just I'm getting in hot and heavy with the lads here, and I have to really squint to read this. I'm looking forward to getting a PC. I'm planning on getting like 2 monitors at some point as well, so I just have one for chat, and that'll like fix my issues. I should probably get glasses as well. But right now it's really difficult to read the comments and shit. So if you lads see anything that I'm missing, that's an interesting.
You know, you
comment.
can hit Control and then
No,
you
not in
do
this.
the
'Cause I'm
thing and you
looking.
can-
I'm looking through them on this software here, so that would fuck up the whole thing. Like it's not
Oh
a separate
my
window. If you know what I
God.
mean. Anyway, shut your mouth for real. Important says, yeah, pull a GTA San Andreas move and just lie to us to create excitement. That's there you go. How many quests were bought because San Andreas is coming to Quest and they've cancelled it like 6 years ago and nobody knows. But maybe
That's never coming out. I don't know what the hell's going on with that.
you can get away with this. Distracted says every gamer should own at least a mid-tier PC.
It's hard though. It's fucking expensive. Well, they're getting better now compared to back in the day when VR was starting to kind of be very, very niche. I remember it was like fucking thousands of dollars. That's why I got the PlayStation, right? Because I wanted the VR. But now we talked about the computer that Decepticon has, which is like a 1660 Ti. Obviously, it's not future proof, but he plays every fucking game without a problem, even the newer games that come up. And in my opinion, the graphics difference when you put medium settings to high settings or low settings in VR for most games is not that much of a difference. So you don't need to get a really expensive PC in order to get into all VR games pretty much for the most part right now, which is also very appealing for a lot of people now. But it's still a lot of money.
Like we're about to get into the PC stuff, but at the end of the day, like, I mean, will we just move on to the PC thing now, or is there anything else we should say about? Well,
Astrobot looks good.
We can continue. No, never mind Astrobot.
Looks good.
Fuck Astrobot now. It doesn't matter.
Buy it. It looks great.
Okay, let's talk about the PC thing, but we can continue on because it's still part of the same topic. The way that they announced this in a blog post, which, I mean, we should have all expected it was going to be a blog post because that's what they do when it comes to PSVR 2. But look at the image they use. I popped it up on the screen there. They've got like Half-Life Alyx on the screen, and it's just such a kick to the teeth, in my opinion. Like, this is the thing that we wanted for so long. Like, please, Sony, do a deal with Valve so you can get this running on PSVR 2 so we can experience it with their cool fucking controllers, with their fucking dynamic phobias with rendering, etc., etc. And then they come out with this and it's like, hey, you want to play this game? You want to play Fallout 4? You want to play fucking War Thunder? Get a PC and then buy this fucking breakout box. Look at this. It's a breakout box again. They're bringing it back from PSVR 1. I'm getting PTSD.
Hey guys, you want to play more games? Spend $600 to $1,000 extra and then buy another fucking box.
Is it actually the same breakout cable box that they had on the VR 1?
It's different, but it's like thinner or whatever. But it's, look at the amount of
looks,
wires coming out the back
identical.
of
it looks identical.
It's the same fucking
Is that
thing.
the real? Is that the legit
that's the
one?
This is on their website. They put this out. And there's like one of them is like a virtual fucking, what's the name of the cable? A virtual port cable or some shit?
I don't know.
The display port?
Display port, that's it, sorry. Display port.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck that is. Apparently it's a HDMI
it's just like
capacitor or something. Like I didn't know that existed.
I think it's better.
Another one is a USB, so you need another fucking USB port. And the other one then is presumably a power, so it needs to be powered. A separate power source for this fucking break, just like the PSVR 1 breakout box. It's just happening all over again. And they give them, like, listen, I'm going to the notes because there's a lot of details here.
Do it.
Okay, so it's $60 if you want to buy this thing, which I think everyone was kind of pleasantly. I thought everyone was pleasantly surprised by that. People were like, "This is going to be $100." People were thinking this is going to be $100.
Well, that's the problem. That's why this is $60. That's why we keep getting raped because people are like, "Oh, I'll pay $100. $100 is fine." No, bitch. This should be for $30. If anything, they should give this shit for free for the inconvenience of making us waste $600.
Yes, anyone who owns the shit, put the fucking cake in the teeth on that as well as you got to buy that cable separately. They don't include the cable.
At least the cable is cheap, but yeah, it's fucking. They don't give you all the cords that you need.
Dickheads. This is coming the 7th of August, by the way, so not far away, a couple of months. So PSVR 2 cable goes on one side, and then out the other side is a USB-A, the display port, and it has to be a 1.4 display port cable, so be careful of which cable you get. Make sure it's 1.4. And a power cord. You'll also need Bluetooth compatibility if you want to use your Sense controllers. And this is a quote from uploadvr.com. They say the adapter supports NVIDIA GTX 1650/AMD RX 5500 XT. I don't know how you say that. Or laser graphics card. Though Sony recommends at least RTX 3060/RX 6600 for decent performance. So if you PC nerds out there know what those numbers and cards mean, then that goes over my head.
3060 is the last generation of graphics cards, like the and I'm not an expert either, but it's the like 300 or 3000 series, and then now we're at the 4. I got the 4070. And they're saying they recommend 3060, but again, 3060, we're talking about Series 3. Then there was a 20, like the 220, 280 or whatever. And then there was a 1, and then I had 960, which is fucking back in the day. Decepticon has a 1660 Ti. Ti is like a slightly better version of it, and he can play all the VR games. So obviously, you can play what?
He couldn't use this though. He couldn't use a PSVR 2 on his headset, could he?
Of course you can.
But he doesn't have the minimum card.
But dude, unless somehow
Oh wait,
it is
minimum
some
is
type of
1650.
software.
Sorry, 1650 is the minimum.
Okay, you
So
see,
he
you
probably has
bitch.
that. Sorry.
They're just telling you the headset doesn't do shit except display. They're just telling you the recommendations based on what VR specs are in general, right? Because the headset doesn't mean shit.
I
So,
get you.
like I said, any graphics card, Decepticon's computer, you can get one even pre-built for probably about $700, maybe even less. A 3060, you can probably get it for like 800. I built mine. I built a 4070, and it was probably like $900. I think I spent for or almost 1,000 to build mine. So you don't really need, like I said, spend a fuckload of money. Of course, $600 a lot of money, but you don't need to spend $1,500, $2,000. Some people are gonna be like, you need the best graphics card, the 49. You don't need it. It'll be nice, but you don't fucking need to spend $1,000 just on a graphics card or $2,000 to be able to play this. So
Okay.
you'll be fine.
So you'll also need then to download a PSVR 2 app, which is how you're going to be able to set up your boundaries and shit, apparently the same way you do on PSVR 2, or PS5 I should say. And now here's a key point. Most of the key features of PSVR 2 will not function on PC, according to Sony. Other people are saying, hackers or modders will sort that out. But these are including eye tracking, HDR, haptics in the controllers, adaptive triggers for the controllers, and headset haptics will not be officially supported. There will be like standard vibration in the controllers, but not the haptics that you're kind of used to. So I have a question here, like how damaging do you think those losses are for the appeal of this headset? Like when you compare it to maybe a Quest or whatever.
It's probably damaging in terms of saying, like, for people that want to get into PC gaming that don't have a PlayStation 5, this puts a damper on that, because, like, if you take out all of the best features of the headset, then it's suddenly not the best option for buying a PC gaming headset anymore.
I just want to point out that this, like, I echoed that sentiment on Twitter, and everyone's like, Pumpkins, you dumb bitch. There's no PC games that support eye tracking or, HDR even, and all these things. So why do you think they would have these things on in the first place? And I swear to God, that's like infuriating, because from back in February, when Sony announced they were going to do this, everyone was like, oh, cool, this is going to be the cheapest way to do eye tracking on PC. It's only going to be $500, and all the other ones are like over $1,000 or whatever.
Exactly.
And nobody back then was like, oh, they're not going to use that. It's not going to have eye tracking. But then all of a sudden now everyone's like, no, this was common knowledge. It's like, this fucking, stop gaslighting me. That's what's happening. There's mass gaslighting going on Twitter, and it's fucking, I'm not falling for it, basically.
And it's also not to say, like, any games that are in development now, they would have been able to take advantage and make it, work with foveated rendering and stuff for their game, for the headset. But now, if it's not going to have that option, then why would they're not going to develop a game to make it work on that headset anymore.
Look at Madison. Madison just came out a few weeks ago, and it came out in Steam and PSVR 2. And they delayed the game specifically to get dynamic foveated rendering working on PSVR 2. I'm sure they would love to do it as well for the PC version. Like, if they do it on PSVR 2, is it really reinventing the wheel and costing them millions to get it to work as well on PC VR for supported headsets, like toggles in the settings or something? Because obviously not everyone's going to be using PSVR 2. But maybe that's just me being ignorant of technology and not understanding how anything works. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Sony announced this on their blog a few days after State of Play. And the way they're framing this is like, look, you'll be able to play all these Steam games. They named Alex, Fallout 4, War Thunder. So in my opinion, this is the last thing that Sony does for PSVR 2. This is the last thing.
Look, all you little whiners, you can play Alex now, and shut up and get away from us.
Yeah, don't ever talk to us again. You want those games? Here, let somebody else do it for you on PC. I hear that Prey Dog.
And another grand.
He's a good guy. Yeah, buy a fucking PC. Which is like, because, okay, fair enough, I'm planning on getting a PC at the end of the month, so this stings a lot less for me. But if it wasn't for the fact that my laptop was on its last legs, I would have no intention of getting a PC, and this would be sickening me to my core right now, because this feels like abandoning the people who are already there, your audience that you've already got, the 1.5 million allegedly. But if some of those 1.5 million have PCs, then obviously it's good news for them, because they still have the 4K resolution. What is this? 4K resolution, isn't it? It's still an OLED panel, although there's still trade-offs there because of the mirror effect and all this shit. So maybe the pancake lenses of the Quest will still be more attractive. I don't know. But we were kind of hoping that, you know, people who don't have, like Muzz said, people who don't already own a PS5 and who want to do PC viewer gaming, they would be like, oh, this is better than Quest, I'll get this instead. But now, you know, Quest can do this and it can do standalone at the same time. So I just think it becomes less attractive in a big way. And then we have a question here that, like, inspired by Jackbot, but because we're talking about this topic, he said, well, he asked I should do this as a topic and ask the community, but seeing as PC viewer is going to be a thing on the channel soon, thanks to this change, like, what are the PC viewer games you have on your list? Like, what's the shit you play day one if you're jumping ship?
Contractors.
That's the first one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Number one on the list, not Half-Life, Alex?
Nope.
Interesting.
Good job, Muzz.
Multiplayer.
Have you got a top five?
Multiplayer.
Have you got a top five or top three or something?
Half-Life Alex would be top 5 for sure. I would say Phasmo would probably be up there. Contractors, Phasmo, Half-Life Alex.
Jackpot never shuts up about Devour, so maybe Devour.
If you like scary games, multiplayer scary games, Muzz, I really think you're gonna enjoy playing Devour, Muzz, because that game is fun. It's scary and it's
sure,
different.
whatever.
I'm not saying put it in your top 5. I'm saying you're gonna like that game. Whenever we play it, I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised.
I assume you're not gonna get this adapter, Jackpot, are you? Like, you've already got Quest on PC. Like, you don't really need this.
No, I was gonna get it if at least the feedback on the controllers was a thing. The rumbling and all that. I don't care about the fucking eye tracking and the HDR, but no, I'm just gonna play on the Quest because I was like, okay, well, at least I have unlimited battery now because the Quest 3. The fucking controllers
Magnum Gaming has just
so
donated
what's the
5 through
point?
Super
There's literally
Chat.
no point for me
That's
for buying
so
this
moist.
shit.
This may lead to a price cut.
That just blew up my fucking eardrums.
More
sorry.
installed base, more potential
It
buyers.
was 5XL.
2. Lack of features
Oh, shit,
means a
alert.
price cut is more appealing for it to sell.
Oh, here comes another one.
Okay, so thank you very much. First of all, thank you, Magnum, very much for the $5 reviews. And he says this may lead to a price cut. 1, more installed base, more potential buyers, and 2, lack of features means a price cut is more appealing for it to sell. I mean, you cut the price now, though, don't you? Like, why wait? I mean, are you saying on the 7th of August they cut the price? Maybe.
But even if they cut the price, what is it right now?
It's
$450?
$550 in America, I think.
With the discount?
Oh, with the
No,
discount, no, it's $100 off.
Let's say that they drop it to $450. That's still a lot of money. A lot of people are like, should I spend $450 on this or should I spend $500 on the Quest? I think a lot of people are still gonna make the jump. I think if they want to sell it because there's no games coming out, I think they're gonna they have to drop it a lot, which they're not. I don't think they're going to.
Now, I should point out, and I think, like, I see Rogue saying this as well, like, if the eye tracking data is there, using eye tracking can be used just as easy as Quest Pro's eye tracking, for what that's worth, and it would still be the cheapest eye tracking option. So it's going to rely on whether, like, how much shit is hidden behind this little breakout box they got, like how much stuff people will be able to access, if it's going to be, because that IVR guy who did he did his own kind of PC thing to get it working on PSVR 2 before this kind of, I guess this fucked him up big time. But he was like, oh, it should be doable to get, like, for example, haptics and shit working. I think, well, maybe it wasn't haptics, but something working. Maybe it wasn't the haptics.
If they get the fucking haptics on the controllers and the headset, maybe, because it does make a huge difference. I'm telling you, whenever you get a PC, well, you're not gonna buy it, but if you ever have Pavlov, play Pavlov and the PC without the controller stuff, and then play on the PSVR 2. You're gonna be like, this is trash. So that's for me the main reason what I will buy if they implement that shit. That tracking will be cool, but
it would be like going from when you play Gran Turismo 7 with like a steering wheel that has, or going with a wheel that has the haptic feedback. Yeah. And then suddenly the next day you just put a wheel that doesn't have any feedback whatsoever, and it's just like smooth turning. That would be like that kind of difference, right? It would be like, oh, this doesn't feel right at all.
That's what I have to look forward to. That's what I have to look forward to.
No, listen, you got to look at it like in a positive way. You're at least going to be able to play these games. You finally get Phasmo.
Yeah, well,
Finally
now
get
see,
to play
Phasmophobia is
fucking
the real
Final
problem
Fantasy.
for me right now because it's going to be like, shit, do I wait for the PSVR 2 version or do I just buy it on PC? Well, hopefully if the PSVR 2 version is out before August 7th, then obviously I'll get that.
I don't think that
Well,
they're
actually,
gonna
no.
have the PSVR
No.
2 version soon, dude. I don't see that happening soon.
I
If
just
anything,
remember-
end of the year, probably more.
I just remembered that the PlayStation version is not going to have the voice control. So now, obviously, the PC version is probably the most attractive one now. Not voice control.
What do you mean
but
the voice control?
voice recognition. You know, you talk to the ghosts and shit.
Oh, right. You're talking about Phasmo.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, if they don't have the ghost stuff, fuck that.
Yeah. So, do I want the haptics?
It's
more than I want the voice
$14.
chat?
Just buy it in fucking the PC and then buy it on the
Yeah.
fucking PlayStation when it comes out.
Fair enough.
I don't think Phasmo really demands to have haptic feedback. Honestly, like why?
Well, if you're
Well,
like
that is
using your
not-
crucifix or the little items that you're holding in your hand, and maybe they start to
Yeah, that's
rumble when
right.
something's nearby, or that
I guess
could
so.
work cool.
Yeah.
I guess it would depend on how they implement it, of course, and they're only a small studio, so maybe they wouldn't even take advantage of us. I don't know. Anyway, Rogue says, yeah, the IVRY adapter did have access to eye tracking data, so let's hope Sony doesn't arbitrarily block us. But you know what Sony are like.
Out of spite, they like, turn it off. Like, no, you can play on PC, but you're not getting this. You're
like
not getting this.
A README file when it's like a big fuck you. You open it up.
And codes.
How do you like that data? How do you like that eye tracking data, bitch? Distracted says PS4 2 is all about the feeling. That's true. Like it would feel gimped. Like it just wouldn't feel right to not have all these features that I'm so used to now on PS4 2. It would definitely be a step back. Obviously, I'll be getting access to all these cool games that I can't get on PS4 2 because Sony won't give them to me, or work
Like
hard
a game
to
like
get them.
a game like Behemoth. Obviously, that's gonna benefit greatly from the rumble and haptics when you're fighting. Like with the sword fighting, you're gonna feel like the controllers rumble when your swords hit, and your headset's gonna rumble when you're going up the Behemoth, like climbing them and all that. Like, obviously, it's gonna be best to play on the PSVR 2. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be sad when we get to the point, or if
Unless-
we ever get to the point when it's just
Unless
more-
you get them, what if you get them Behemoth mods where you get that erect elephant drunk?
Yes. Buy all the copies.
Yeah. Then you got
gotta-
I think
see.
that's also a good thing about the PC. I forgot that you know there's a lot of mod shits. And talking about the mods, you can play some of the flat games in VR now because of that free mod that you can do. So there's a lot of games, dude. A lot of good games that people are gonna be able to access. So yeah, it sucks. So we're gonna get all the features. Hopefully, we get them in the future. And yeah, maybe like you said, this is a bad thing because it's Sony throwing everything away. But I see this as a very positive thing. Not everything is great, no, but it's a good move. It was not great. They should have given everything, but it's good that they're doing this. Because people need to fucking be able to play the other games when they can.
It's better than them not doing it. If they're going to abandon it, which it seems, in my opinion, they are, then at least this is the best way to do it. Like, obviously, they could have given us more features on PC or whatever, but at least they're giving us the option to do it on PC. So that's something, I suppose. But it's hard not to
I'm
feel
excited.
down
I'm excited
about
to be able to play some of the games that I wasn't able to play.
Yeah.
Especially like the mods, like a lot of those games that have like really awesome mods to them and stuff.
The Skyrim mods are insane. Like full body interactions, like you grab them, like they've got crazy mods in there, like make it fully VR.
Well, there's even mods right now that you can play Grand Theft Auto 5 in VR.
Yeah, is that like
really really high end
Vortex or some shit like that to do that? Like
I don't know which one, but I mean there's so many games that are converted to VR now. It's crazy that like they make it seem so easy. I know it's not, but I mean it's just like all these modders are just like, yeah, here's this game in VR and we made this in VR. It's like, well, why can't the big companies do this and like?
And they keep bringing games in VR, like the mods, all the time. They keep fucking popping out new mods for free too. A lot of them
for free. Well, they technically have to be free because they can't profit off of.
Well, there's some guy that you do it as that you do pay. I think it's like one time or whatever.
Or something,
you got access to all the fucking mods, like all the mods that he has. So you got access to all the fucking games.
How about Cyberpunk in VR?
Yeah, you can do that too. You need a beefy computer though.
Yeah.
I don't know how beefy, but definitely not the Decepticon computer.
Damn, not even if I turn off reflections.
Shit.
I turn off the
I
reflection.
don't
I'll
know.
get it
I
working.
think VR does take a lot, especially with that game. So I don't know, but I've heard you do need a
It,
beefy PC
Mm.
to be able to run that shit. But I
I
mean, beefy.
imagine
What's beefy? Yeah.
Distracted says Phasmo might not even happen on PSVR 2 now. It is like, it's kind of like Aces of Thunder, where it's like, Jesus, why have they been so quiet for so long?
yeah.
I'm getting nervous about it now. Maybe they're looking at Sony
Over.
not releasing Astrobot, and they're like, should we re-release this game on PSVR 2?
Yeah. Stop funding that shit. Let's just keep working on
yeah.
the PC. That's what they're saying.
But in the case of Phasmo, like, they're releasing the console version flat anyway as a hybrid, so that's still going to come, I think. We're safe enough with that. Rogue says, I have a feeling someone will probably gift you Phasmo. You have gifting now. Listen, I'm not looking for charity, but if you're hinting that you're
on
going to do this,
Steam.
that's nice of you to say. But I do have a Steam account, but I haven't used it in like 10 years, so I don't know my login details.
We'll just get a new one, you bitch.
I'll just guess. I think I've got like Half-Life 2 and Left 4 Dead.
Okay, just fucking get a new account.
I can't lose Left 4 Dead, all right? Magnum says, we will see if the missing features on PC when GT7 launches on PC. Right now, PC VR games are not programmed with DF4, for example. I don't think we're going to see Sony moving. I don't think like they're going to bother putting Horizon Call of the Mountain, for example, on PC.
Trash game.
I think they see VR as just like, we're not going to invest anything into it, even a port to PC, in my opinion.
No.
That's how much they've given up, from what I can see.
Hey guys, but Bulletstorm finally got the dynamic rendering.
There we go.
There we go.
Buy the-
VR saved.
buy the
PSVR
headset.
2 is saved.
Buy it
There
now.
you go.
$600, $599.99. Go buy it.
What do we got? What are we complaining about? We got that now.
We will talk about that as well later on. Fluke says, give Sony time. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if they announced that the microphone doesn't work with PC either. Yeah, it's a good point. I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Apparently the pass-through still works though, which is nice.
That's good.
Just turn your channel into Gran Turismo 7 channel already. That's where this is going. Gran Turismo 7? Hell no. It would be a Phasmophobia channel before it would be anything else, I think. Squadrons, yeah. You get back to Squadrons again. Ghost says VR is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, but we've been doing it since 2016. And they're not going further, they're going backwards. Look at all the cool games we had on PSVR 1. I know the year 1, if you compare year 1 of PSVR 1 and year 1 of PSVR 2, PSVR 2 is way better. But then, look at what they got in year 2 on PSVR 2. They had Skyrim, Borderlands 2. I think they ended strong with fucking like Hitman Trilogy. That came out like near the end of the PSVR 2 or PSVR 1's life.
Except that the controllers were fucking trash.
Yeah, the controllers are trash. We know that. But then we expected like, okay, that was their first attempt. Baby's first fucking day.
Well, and we had what we had working with. The controllers was nothing they could do. At least we had the fucking game.
But then we were like, okay, PSVR 2 is going to be fixing all those issues, and they did. Yeah. They gave us the cool controllers. They gave us all the hardware we wanted. But then I was like, you know what? Forget us. We give up. Sorry, Muzz, I interrupted you. Go on.
No, we had Firewall 0 hour, so it was all good. It was all good. It didn't matter anything else. That's the main one.
And Werewolves Within. Don't forget Werewolves.
Yeah. That juggernaut of a
system seller.
Good shit.
Distracted. He's listing out some games here. Acesso Corsa, Dirt 2.0, Catch and Release. Damn, Catch and Release.
That's
a fishing game, isn't it?
PlayStation VR 1.
Yeah, it is. I remember that one.
No, there's better fishing games.
Shoozy Fruzy. Why are you listing out these random games? Distracted. Extra says, UE viewer is pretty good, but you need a beefy PC to use it. Beefy is 3080 Ti or higher. I think the one I was looking at was like 40 something for the 4 series.
Yeah, the 40s. You just go on YouTube. Whatever game you're interested in playing or whatever graphics card you're interested in getting, just go on YouTube and look at some of the people's benchmarks or whatever, and then you can see how much you're on. The reason why I'm saying about the fucking 1660 Ti doing the VR is because I'm just telling you what the Decepticon uses. The Decepticon uses a 1660 Ti, and he plays any VR game. I don't know what settings he does, but he says he has no issues. Now, it doesn't mean that fucking works for everything. I don't fucking know. If he tries to stream, he probably can't do that.
Can he do UE?
Yeah, he said he played Half-Life, and I don't know what settings he used, but he said he played it fine.
But can he do UE VR? Like, Extra there is saying
I
UE
don't
VR
think
is like
so.
beefy.
I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think
That's
so.
a big
I'm
fucking
sure, like
loss.
I said,
That's a big.
just go on. Yeah, but I'm fucking Decepticon bought the computer fucking years ago. If you're gonna buy a computer right now, you're not gonna buy a 16 something whatever or a
Why didn't you
2080 or
upgrade? Why
whatever
isn't he upgrading that card?
because it's expensive, bitch.
It's not
It's
that bad
expensive.
for the card, is it?
Well,
Just
and
the card?
sometimes, yeah. Well, it's because sometimes if like my computer, I bought it, dude, and I built it, my first computer when Battlefield 3 came out, right? Fucking like 12 years ago, right? So no matter if I want to upgrade my graphics card, which was a 960 fucking fossil, none of the things would work, not compatible. So I had to get a whole new thing. So I think the Decepticon can only upgrade so much, but I don't know. But all I know is that he plays every game. I don't know what settings. I don't know nothing without any issues. Now, does that mean he can play all the fucking whatever in the future? Probably not. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'm going is based on what he's telling me that he plays with, and he has no issues. But again, you wouldn't buy a computer like that right now. It wouldn't make any sense. Future proof. Like say, like if you get a 40s, whatever, you should probably be fine. But I would recommend you to just go on YouTube, look at people's benchmarks of the games, and then you can see. Okay, well then, fuck you then. Don't do any effort.
Distracted says, who the fuck thought it was a good idea to have the combat in a Horizon game? Or to have that combat in a Horizon game? Probably the guy that got sacked. I wouldn't be... Well, was it be his fault, or would it be Sony being like, oh, this is a launch game, we have to be fucking put the baby steps on, like the baby rails or whatever. You gotta make sure that you don't overwhelm people. No flips, no... Like what they really should have done, and I would have saved them money, is just make a normal Horizon game, or take the Horizon games that are already released, the first one, Zero Dawn, and put viewer support into that. That's all they had to do. Because I think they spent like big money on Call of the Mountain, doing a ground up viewer game.
Oh boy.
Trash.
Yeah. It's still a good game. It's a good game. It's not trash. You're a liar. Metal Oxide says, I wouldn't be surprised if modders managed to get eye tracking and haptic feedback working in a week after release. Well, that's like I've heard someone say though that the haptic feedback, that's at the SDK level or something. So like that's might be out of reach. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to PC viewer stuff. Like my eyes like glaze over and shit. It just goes over my head. Extra says UE viewer is heavy. It tanks 4090s. Tanks them.
Well, like it just depends. If it like I don't understand them because it may be the settings, maybe the game. I play I have a 4070 and I throw everything at it when it comes into that, and it runs fine. Like I said, maybe because
all you do is watch gay porn on this. How much is that?
That doesn't matter.
Stressing?
Maybe because what I just do is very basic, and these people know a lot more clearly about computers, and they know about the details and all that shit. But I just run it basically, the fucking basic settings, whatever. I don't tweak a lot of it, and it's run. Again, I have a 4070, but I'm assuming if you have the beefier games, if you want to put all the bells and whistles, I'm assuming yes, it's you gotta need a lot. Okay. But again, for me, I don't have my fucking graphics card. I really like it, dude. I save a lot of money, not a lot of money, but I save a long time to fucking get a PC. And I'm happy with it, but it is beefy, like he says that the mod, it's beefy, but like I said, it is worth trying, dude, because that shit opens up a lot of games.
Johnny's here saying that a 4070 is about €600 to buy in Ireland at the moment, and I'm nearly sure that the pre-built desktops I shared on Discord like a month ago, they had the 40 something series in it, and the total price of the whole fucking thing was like €800. So what's maybe
but it wasn't a 4070. No, I think it was a 40.
40s are we talking about?
4060 or 40? Is there a 40? I don't think there's a 50, right?
Is there a huge?
It was one of the 40s, but it was one of the small.
I can't keep up with it all. The prices change so much with all the PC stuff.
I mean, like mine, right? Mine is a 4070, and I think Dan has a 4080 or the next one, and it's significantly more expensive. I think once you start going to the 70s, 80s, and more, I think it's like the 4090. It's fucking expensive as shit, but it's a fucking monster.
Okay.
So it just depends. Like I said, if you just look at the computer that you want to buy, look at the graphics card, 4070, 4060, whatever, and then just go on fucking YouTube and put 4060 graphics card VR. No. All right, then don't do it, bitch. I'm telling everybody else, not you.
They don't care. Distraction says your mom's feet will probably make the money on OnlyFans. Damn. Mammy's feet. By the way, join the Discord if you haven't already. But you gotta share your feet pics first. Donnie says, I get what Sony and the games I want to play recommend for their specs needed. I'm not even going to try with that, Donnie. I'm sorry. I'm not trying with that one, okay? And as Paul says, PSVR 3 win in the alternate universe. Well, I still think they could do a PSVR 3, but if they do, it's going to be full copy Quest. Make sure it's standalone. And then maybe it can connect to a PS6 wirelessly or something to beef it up or whatever. That's the only way I see it doing this, but I think that's like a 5% chance of happening. I think 95% chance they just don't do VR again. And we see a Visa 2 instead, or a PSP 3, whatever you want to call it. Extra says UE games are not optimized for VR. That's why. That's the problem with PC games in general, if you ask me. You know, so many different configurations of PCs out there that a developer can't focus and be like, oh, like with a PS3 or a PS5, or Xbox, they know exactly what hardware it is. They know what they can push, what they can't.
Yep.
Which is why I never understood PC gaming in general. I get it for the mods and stuff, but it's like you got all this cool horsepower that really shits all over the consoles, but there's never a game that's optimized for it. So it's like it's never reaching that potential. All it's doing is boosting frames.
That's not true, you fucking bitch.
It's true, 100%.
That's not true. Look at
100%.
look at somebody playing a game, the PC version, and all the bells and whistles, and look at a fucking.
Yeah.
And that's good, but that's not the full potential.
Well, they can make the visuals a lot better. They can unlock the frame rate, so they don't have to worry about like any of that. They can like
the frame rate. It makes a huge difference.
Boost frame rates. I'm not
thought it was
denying
gonna be a
that.
huge deal, but dude, the frame rate is fucking crazy, especially multiplayer games, shooting games. Crazy the difference.
Distracted says, "Don't be daft. Don't be daft. PSVR 3 is never happening. Not even a percentage chance. A fraction of a percent. I can't speak." Donnie says, I'm getting a PC with specs that Sony and the games I want to play say are needed. Sorry, I'm typing and driving. I wish you would stop doing that, Donnie. Because one day you will die, and I won't know about it. Like, we're not going to know that you're dead. Maybe you kill other people. That would be even worse. No offense, but like for you. Anyway, Overwatch says PSVR 2 is cooked, and the price for a decent PC and no headset features, and Meta owns mostly all the exclusive titles trapped on mobile graphics. Yeah, that's the sickening part. At this point, just get a Quest 3 and call it a day. No, because I refuse to go to mobile graphics. What I'm going to do is go to PC VR with the PSVR 2 headset, even though it's gimped with the features. Yep. Anyway, because we're at 2 hours, I think we should move on. Unless there's anything else you want to say about this. This is like a huge topic. This is, for me, the end.
Well,
PSVR. I think it's cool.
I'm not too familiar with PC gaming either because I've always been like a console kid growing up. So I just like the less hassle. Just buy the console and buy the games and play them. Not have to worry about settings and all that kind of stuff. But
it's not that much of a hassle as you think,
dude. Don't lie.
When you play the game, the game automatically detects the settings that are best for your computer. So you don't have to touch anything.
There's going to be some time, one day when I play a fucking game and I decide to install like one mod, it's going to be like, oh, it updated and now the mod doesn't work. So now you can't boot it up and you got to find this file and you got to plug this here and do this and do all this. It's just going to stress me out. That's
then too bad. Then don't get a PC if you're going to be a little bitch that any type of
I didn't want to. I didn't want to, but Sony are forcing me to do it.
Well, you gotta have to learn what you're forcing now. They don't care about you.
Sony are selling
the real casualty after all of this is said and done is Amanda, my poor wife, because I'm going to be bugging her all the time about how to do this.
Get her a Chromebook.
Yeah.
Here's a Chromebook, baby.
Not only am I going to be trying to play the computer, but I'm also just going to be asking her all the questions, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? She's going to be like, oh, just go into the settings.
Maybe we should get you one. If you know her enough, she might get you one for like your birthday or Christmas or something, just to get you away.
No, I don't even want one myself.
No, I don't want one. I just want to take yours, Amanda. Okay, let's move on.
Whenever she's not playing, that's when I'll play. Whenever she's not.
Because you didn't think we were done with the negativity, did you?
Keep it rolling.
What's next topic?
Next topic is Mudrunner VR. I'm just gonna keep it quick.
Oh yeah.
Mudrunner out on Quest.
Oh yeah.
It's just after coming out on Quest, and the developers were asked on Twitter, "Is it coming to PSVR 2?" And they replied saying, "We have no plans for a PSVR 2 port. Sorry." And for me, this is the beginning. This is the start of third parties not supporting PSVR 2. Actually, no, this isn't the beginning. Rec Room was the beginning. But this is like, it's furthering You know, I'm actually surprised the Contractors is coming to PSVR 2. I won't be surprised if they're
Nope.
reconsidering this.
Nope.
What you mean? No, no what?
Why are you surprised? I told
I
you since the
said-
beginning that
I
game
said-
has to come. It's gonna come.
No, actually, right now I'm still
Too big.
right now I'm not going to be surprised if they come out in a few months and say actually the to-do list is changed and PSVR 2 is no longer on us. Because
I don't think
they
so.
said that
the game
before
is
the
too
state
big,
of play.
too
Before
popular. No,
it's not too big. Sony aren't supporting
like
this.
the concept. It doesn't matter. The people.
Look, it goes
people
to
have
war.
it.
I mean, they're porting this,
But
but
no
they're saying
offense,
they're not going
no
to make money.
offense, no offense goes to the board, but it fucking doesn't even reach the fucking feet of Contractors. Popularity, the type of gameplay. This is literally fucking Call of Duty Warzone in VR. Literally everything about it is fucking great. So I think this game is gonna come to PSVR 2 because it will be a game that a lot of people will buy more than fucking Ghost of Tabor. Because Ghost of Tabor is not bad, but dude, no. I don't even think about that game anymore after Contractors.
All right,
Yeah,
that's
I gotta
fair
say
enough.
that's kind of off to the side for me as well. Ghost of War now
Yeah.
that
It's definitely.
I agree with you,
they-
Pumpkins. I don't. If they kick it out of the can, I wouldn't be surprised either. I'd be like, yeah, But I do think it will come, and they will try to make it come because they will sell copies of that game.
they
Well, I mean, I
will.
hope so.
I think it'll be worth it, and I think they kind of realize that a lot of people are like really craving a game like that on PlayStation VR 2. So they would get decent sales.
Listen,
They would make it worthwhile.
I hope so.
I'll buy it
All I'm
again.
saying is I can see a world where they announce, sorry,
Well, yeah,
plans changed.
Me too.
it could happen.
Easily.
It could happen, but
What was I
but it
gonna
has
say?
to be crossplay. If it's not crossplay,
yeah,
that's a
it
big
will be
problem.
cross, but yeah,
It's
there's still be
better,
yeah.
yeah.
It has to
So
be.
I think LSB, sorry, has said it, but I've seen other people say it as well, where people are like, "Oh, it's just Mudrunner. It's not really a good game, so you shouldn't worry about it." But that's besides the point. Like, even if it's dog shit, it's just the fact that these developers are thinking they're not going to make money by releasing their game on PSVR 2.
Yeah.
So
there's
that
no
should be a
future in it.
concern. That should be a concern for everyone. We should still be concerned as well with Contractors that it took them so long to even say it was on the to-do list, because for a long time they wouldn't even tell us.
Exactly.
So
Like
get used to this.
whoever, I don't know,
Yeah.
like whatever Sony, if Sony has like its own division that like watches over VR, like I don't know if it's like a subsidiary kind of like side to them, like okay, you can kind of run the VR operations and like I don't know how it works, but it's like whoever is leading the VR
It's a hamster on a wheel, was in an office.
at this point. I think so.
And in
I
the
think it's
corner
right.
with a sign
And
that says,
he's getting really
"In charge
tired.
of VR
He's getting
development."
really tired. He's getting tuckered out. he's been running so hard he
Yeah.
can't do it
Yeah,
anymore.
he's dead.
But I
He's
mean,
dead.
whoever's in charge, like I don't know the decision making. Like I don't. They don't obviously that they don't follow what's going on in the VR world or like care.
it's not
to
worth
keep
for
up with it.
them. It's not worth for. That's not worth their money. I think investing because
Right, but I
it's
mean-
all about the money. So they're like, hey, this shit costs too much money. It's gonna be. We already tried, but they tried, in my opinion, in a bad way. Because if they would have done fucking firewall not dirty, let them do a fucking test, let them do a beta, work on the
Yeah.
That game. We know it had its issues, but that game had the potential to be the fucking firewall 0 hour to keep everything fucking at least. Okay, we don't have all these other games, but fucking we have firewall, and it's the fucking shit, and that's why a lot of people buy the headset. We don't fucking have none of that shit.
Yeah, like just to have a game like Contractor Showdown come out, and everyone's saying like all the positivity, everyone's playing it, loving it. Like there's no attempt.
Yeah, they should be on this. But listen,
Like,
I strongly
it's
believe that there
Sony-
was like once upon a time, someone at Sony was passionate about VR, like really wanted to go.
Well, they
first.
must have been.
And then a change,
Yeah.
the change of leadership happened.
Changed the
Hiroki
leadership.
Totoki or whatever the fuck his name is came in and like, no, fuck you. I'm the boss. I don't care what you want. I'm the money man, and I say no money for you, not for this. We're bleeding. We had to cancel The Last of Us Online. We lost 100 million on that or whatever. So fuck
Yeah.
you. We're not doing that. That's just how it seems to be. But yeah,
I
like
don't know.
said,
Whatever the reasons, like it's just like when you see a game like Contractor Showdown come out, and it's not on PlayStation VR 2.
Mhm.
That's like, why isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't Sony going to those guys saying like, no, we want this on our headset. We want it to be like the best place to play it is on PSVR 2. with the rumble and the haptic feedback and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
once upon a time.
Make it happen. Make it happen. We need it on our headset. But now it's just like, no, it's like crickets.
Once upon a time, they put the legwork in and they went to First Contact and said, "Hey, we like the look of this firewall. Get us exclusively for us." You know, back when they cared. But this is the world we're living in.
Mudrunner looks kind of fun.
Yeah, listen, people are saying it's shit, but I've heard like it's not bad. Yeah. Like apparently the water physics are shit and the visuals aren't great, obviously, because it's a Quest game.
Well, yeah, the graphics look like fucking a piece of turd, but you know, for what the type of gameplay and all that, it looks.
Yeah, like it does, like that simulation physics kind of shit. Let me try and catch up with a few chats if I can. Sorry for skipping anything. If you think it's important, then you should, like, feel free to repeat it until I see it. Mas Marjanovic says PSVR was the winner with eye track and haptics. The possibilities were great, but now using it on a PC with no haptics or eye tracking, I'm not feeling this. Mas, welcome, and I agree with you. I'm not feeling this either, but I'm forced to. I already have it. I'm getting a PC, so I might as well use it. It's going to cost me. I have to pay $60 to get a fucking breakout box again. But this is the world we live in. Overwatch says the best case scenario that can happen out of this PC viewer gets more love from devs. Maybe if they had all them features, and then maybe there's like a wave of people going for PC viewer. But the way I see it now is most people who don't have either headset would probably, or who don't have PS5 would probably lean towards a Quest if they want to get into PC viewer. So I don't see a significant change in the PC viewer scene that would inspire developers to like, oh, let's go back into PC viewer again. It's all Quest. Donnie says, can Caveman Studios deal with Sony's QA? They're about to find out, I suppose. Distracted says they suck at their job. You can say it. Oh, we've been saying this. We've been saying. Well, listen, it's probably just a higher up not letting them do what they want to do, maybe. So I don't want to shit directly on someone if they want to do something, but they just aren't able to. Their hands are tied or whatever. I think they just, like, PSVR 2 is just too much of a risky investment for them now. Like I said already, I'm blaming Hiroki Totoki, even though he might not be the one to blame. I don't know who the change in leadership was, but I just like saying his name.
If it actually is saying his name right, which I probably not.
Probably not, no. Johnny says, just check the Discord, dude. The PCs you put in are 4060s. Okay. See, in my mind, if it started with a 40, that was like, oh, that was more top end, latest shit.
Well, it's the newest generation, right? But again, he's saying you can only play Fortnite. Like, what do you mean only play Fortnite? Like, this is what I mean. Like, it just depends on who you are and what your expectations are, because I have a 4070 and I can fucking run everything, even the UAVR, whatever. Obviously not at the highest graphics and all that, but it just depends who you ask. I'm telling you, Decepticon runs with the 1660 Ti, most VR game. I know. I'm just saying, people are. I think you're gonna get scared because like, oh, I can't get this because this not gonna run anything. I need to get the.
Listen,
I'm gonna spend $3,000.
I'll be consulting the Discord before I make any purchase. You know,
I know. Just do your own research. Don't fucking ask, because then people are gonna give you all kinds of different answers.
Rogue. I just specifically ask.
Yeah, just ask Rogue.
There you go. Ask Rogue. He is the ultimate expert.
Matt
give him a call.
Maybe Firewall's failure killed PSVR 2 ultimately. No, I don't think so. I don't think you can pin us on one title. I think Firewall's failure is a symptom of PSVR 2's lack of support from Sony. I mean, you don't give up after 4 months of a live service game. You just don't. Probably actually know more of a victim. Sorry, go on.
He also don't like slow down like support for a headset that costs like $600-$700 for me. Yeah. After just 2 years, it's like.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But there's another one now we'll talk about soon. But as of yesterday, we'll say there's only one PSVR 2 exclusive on the horizon that we know about. Am I wrong? Aces of Thunder? Is there other PSVR 2 exclusives that you cannot get on any other headset?
Nope.
I think it's just Aces of the Thunder, as far as I know.
Feel free to tell me I'm wrong.
That we know it's only on PSVR 2.
For all we know, it's going to come to other platforms as well. But just right now, we know it's PSVR 2.
Yeah, that's why it's taken so long, because they're making the Quest version right now.
Maybe. Extra says Tuto Korok. Damn. That's what we should call him. Durban Brown with the fucking eyeball emojis, I think. Distracted says GTA 5 story mode and VR exclusive to PSVR 2. Done. That's what I was saying from day one. Get a fucking Rockstar. It doesn't even have to be GTA, but GTA 5 would have been the ideal one.
Expensive.
Get it in PSVR 2. Make it happen. Sony, fund it. You know, do whatever you have to. Suck every one of Rockstar's dicks off to make sure that happens. But they didn't. Welcome to PC culture, says Ghost. Yeah, no. Rogue says, I wasn't listening. Lol, what? Don't worry, Rogue. Don't you worry. When the time comes, I'll summon you.
You're going to be bombarded with questions. Be ready. Ready.
Just talk to me like I'm 5 when it comes to the PC viewer stuff, all right? Cornerstone Sissy, how you doing? Says PSVR only had one big game a year. PSVR 2 is doing what Sony has always done with VR. I think the headset will be another indie VR headset. But they had they blew their wad in the first year with this one. And now we don't have the big titles for year 2 or year 3. I mean, if you want to argue Madison, but I don't think Madison is triple A big title, like on the level of Gran Turismo or Resident Evil. It's a great game, 10 out of 10, whatever. But it's not the big system seller, you know. And we don't have anything like that in the horizon, which is, you know, scary. At least, like, people are saying, oh, it's the same for Flat 2, but it's not. It's not the same for Flat. We know about Concord. We know about Wolverine. Actually, we know, well, they didn't announce it, but we know about all the other games Insomniac are working on. We can guess that Ghost of Tsushima 2 is probably very close to being announced. You know, another Last of Us or whatever Naughty Dog are working on. But
you see, there's a mod now that you can play Ghost of Tsushima in VR.
There you go.
You can play that now.
You can play with the mod, I think, but
yeah,
like they say, you do need a beefy PC because I think that game is.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming that would have to be a pretty high-end PC.
Fucking graphics are amazing.
Imagine seeing those visuals.
Yeah, just standing in a field of them fucking pampas grass,
yeah, the
sleeves
grass
or whatever
the
they're
grass
called.
Blowing around.
Yeah,
that would be crazy to see.
Matt says, I have PC Viewer Quest 3 with 3080 and it does it all, but sometimes the setups and tweaking can take too much time. See? Jackpot doesn't want people saying that, but that's the truth. The setup and the tweaking is
sometimes it can
wreck my head. That's what I'm really I'm stressing already over thinking about it. Fluke says the whole graphics card argument comes down to this. What runs well for one person might be bad experience for another. It's all extremely subjective. This is crazy. Why would you get into PC?
And I don't know that the people in the chat know a lot more about PCs. That's what I'm saying. My shit is just the basic. I don't fuck with it, and like I said, it probably can't run a lot of the beefy ones if I try to fuck with the settings too much. But just like I said, ask Rogue about specifically what you need.
Hold on.
And
Can you run Cyberpunk in VR, or have you tried?
I haven't tried. I don't know if it can. I don't know if that's what the mod, the injector mod of something else. Maybe it can run, but I'm assuming if it's a beefy game on a really low settings, because I only have a 4070, and I think the highest one is like 4090. I don't know if there's higher than that, but it might be able to run it, but just probably not at the highest resolution or highest frame rate possible. I should probably try that shit because that looks good, but I don't. I think my computer might explode.
You turn on all the God rays and all the
ray trace
your computer would just start ray tracing.
Because I've heard that game is already hard to run just regularly on computers and flat. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that my computer, and if it does, this has to be pretty low. I don't know. I haven't fucked with it, but I should. You
could just enjoy it in a nice 10 frames per second.
Yeah. I don't know who it was, but I keep seeing someone on Twitter sharing clips of them playing that in VR, and it just looks like fucking hell. It's like Blade Runner.
I'm sure it will run on my computer, but not the best of graphics. But it'll probably still, because at the end of the day, I don't care about graphics as much if I can still play the game. Of course, I would like the best graphics, but if you gave me this game looks literally like dog shit. The Mudrunner, it looks fucking terrible. But I would. At the end of the day, I can go pass by if the game is fun and if that's my only option that I have.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many games like this, Matt Marjanovic says, I play my PSVR 2 more. I get on and play, no worries, way easier, and I think better. I think too. But the problem is, Sony don't want us to play it on PS5 anymore. They're saying, fuck off to PC. Distracted says, sorry, not talking to me. Johnny says, Was a joke about Fortnite because it was on the spec list, lol. The main thing
I know, I'm
is...
fucking with you too.
Relax. The main thing is the VRAM. 4060 has either 12 or 16 of VRAM. 16 is trash for other reasons. What? 4070 is 12 and is a solid choice. How would 16 be trash? Like, surely, are you saying...
telling you.
I don't know.
They know more.
It's confusing.
It is.
Extras, sorry, not for me. Overwatch says one thing I can say is PC Viewer is so much more immersive than mobile ports. It's like day and night. Well, this is why I'm not going to drop this and go to Quest. Until like maybe Quest 5 or something will be on the level that I want from PSVR 2, and then maybe I jump to Quest then. But until it's like, because I'm looking at games like, obviously, Mudrunner here as an example. It's like, come on. This is like, like if this was a mobile game, I'd be like, wow, I thought mobile games looked better than this by now. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, listen, no disrespect to the studio or whatever they're working with, what they're working with. You know, it's not their fault that the Quest is the most successful headset, and they're just catering to that.
It all comes down to like the wrong headset one, basically.
Yes.
Could have been PSVR 2.
Yeah.
And then we'd all be playing better looking, better quality, bigger games.
Yeah. We'd be playing these games, the same games, but in like just like magical ways, you know?
I guess Sony just can't compete with the never-ending flow
Lizards.
of money.
Yeah.
Well, they
The
can't.
lizards,
They can't.
the lizards.
They can't compete with the cash funds that MetaQuest.
Well, I mean,
Well, Meta's just dumping money and losing probably in some of the headsets
they're
just to
losing
get
big.
people in. So they're going in the long run. That's all their whole thing is just the fucking
yeah,
VR.
but Sony
PlayStation, they
can't
don't.
do that. Sony doesn't have that kind of like
Okay, but
money to throw
at the same
away.
time, like Sony made like 30 billion in revenue on PlayStation
Yeah, but
alone
they're
last
focusing
year.
on-
So
they're
it's like, come
focusing
on,
on
do
flat.
something. Do something for God's
Right.
sake with the 30 billion.
But
Hookers and cocaine. That's what they're doing. Not investing it on PlayStation VR 2.
Fuck it. Sorry, Muzz, were you gonna say something?
no,
Did we cut you off? Okay, I'm sorry.
Sony can't compete with the money that Meta has, like the back in.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
The
But
only like Microsoft, like if Microsoft would have wanted to get into VR, they could have competed with like the cash that way, like
as
in
we've
terms of
seen.
funding.
You know,
Well,
splash
yeah,
of
and
70
in
billion
terms of
on that Activision. Yeah, we'll take that.
yeah, exactly. Just doing
Yeah.
stupid purchases like that, they could have just like, okay, yeah, do whatever you want with the VR over there. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's
And
just
it probably be more successful because they would have had probably access right away to, hey, you get the Xbox fucking headset, but you also can play on the PC VR because it's pretty much Microsoft, right? So just plug in and play.
You know, they were
So
developing.
They could have really milked it.
They were developing Halo VR, and then they scrapped it because that was like Xbox One X, the Scorpio or whatever. They announced VR support for that, so they had plans. For
maybe they will eventually. Maybe like in the next phase of VR, like if it does start taking off, I'm sure they'll probably like, all right, we'll get a headset ourselves and jump into it. But you never know.
Just need that one breakout game to happen.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
not
the
saying
one that draws everybody in.
Yeah, just the Fortnite of VR. It doesn't need to be Fortnite VR, but like that version.
Something equivalent that everybody has to try out because everyone's talking about it so much. Yeah.
And then if something like that happens, then I can see Sony be like, "Whoa, hey, look over here. We got a VR headset. Let's get back into this." You know, that's what I.
They're just gonna
only
leave
way
it
to
on
bring
the-
it back.
Yeah.
Ghost
Yeah,
Shot says,
Mudrunner. Buy it.
when starting PC VR, just look up tutorials that it starts making sense. Never fucking guess. I'll guess everything. I'll throw a dart at a board. I'll just spin the wheel. Kathleen will decide my PC parts. Cornerstone says, I just want games with the camera in VR. I don't mind playing with a normal controller like Resident Evil 7 and Skyrim on PS4. I don't mind that either. A lot of people hate that, but like Resident Evil 7 was one of my favorite games on PSVR 1.
Oh, when I played on PSVR 1, if I played a game that I had an option to play with the controller or the move controllers, I would always use just the regular controller. Always.
Yeah, the moves were fucking trash.
Yeah. Avoid them at all costs. I did.
Although with Skyrim, I did go with moves, I would admit.
No, I didn't.
That's fair enough.
Just
for the bow and arrow. Like,
regular-
it worked so well with the bow and arrow that I couldn't give it up.
Yeah.
Extra says Sony can't compete with Meta's hardware release cycle. If PSVR 3 ever comes out, it's 7 years away. Yeah, there'll be like 6 more quests before that happens. All right, next topic. You're right, Danny. We'll talk about this game that Jackpot was mentioning earlier, which is this is a bit suspicious. I'm a bit suspicious about this game. It's called Death Relives. They tweeted about it today. They're like, "Oh, we've got a partnership with Sony, and this game was supposed to be exclusive to PS5, but now we're bringing it to PS4 as well." And then later on, they're like, "Oh, we're also bringing it to PS4 too, but that's going to be post-launch." So that's not suspicious. That's fine, whatever. But then when I was Googling, like I wanted to get this video, I wanted to download the trailer. And it was like a trailer for this game coming to Xbox. Like it was on the Xbox channel. So I was like, hold on a sec, are you partnership with Sony? Or like why is this on Xbox? Like I don't understand what that is. But listen, I'm sure it's probably nothing shady. I'm sure it's not like an abandoned situation again. But they don't have like this trailer isn't on the official PlayStation channel, which I thought was strange. Like normally when these things get announced, if you're partnered with Sony, they put it up on their channel. So, you know, that has me a little bit like I've got like a fucking what's the word? Reservation. I've got a reservation about this game. Maybe I shouldn't, but whatever. So
I don't know anything about it to be excited or.
Yeah, sorry. I'll give you some details. Sorry, probably should have done that straight away. So no mention of other headsets. So it seems like PSVR 2 exclusive, maybe, which is why I said other than Aces of Thunder. It seems this as well. They announced on Twitter only. You can wishlist it on PSN, but on the PSN listing, there is no mention of PSVR 2. It's a first-person linear survival horror game, and basically it's you versus an Aztec god. You'd see him in the trailer, and you got like a weird flower thing on your wrist as well. And I think there's a mechanic where you're like you cover your eyes or hold your breath. I'm not really sure which it is, but yeah, obviously all the footage is just flat only. There's no VR footage available, but you know, something along the lines of Madison, but you know, with an Aztec twist, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool then.
Yeah,
looks fine. We'll see. I mean, I'm not really worried about that shit, the whole Xbox stuff, but I just hope it doesn't take forever to come with the update. Hopefully they actually bring it, because scary games are always cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to fuck up scary games, I feel like.
I mean,
or fuck them up too much.
Match made in heaven. A match made in heaven.
This one looked like it has like a more unique kind of story as well. It's kind of like a weird, it won't be the same old like kind of style.
Yeah, I think you're like a college student and you're about to graduate, and your mother's gone missing, so you find out she's some involvement with this Aztec god or whatever. He's like puzzle solving and shit like that. You can't fight. It says like you got to run and hide, survive.
Great.
So there you go. Next topic then, which is Beat Saber.
What the fuck are we talking about? Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
Jesus Christ.
New DLC, Beat Saber OST 7 it's called. It's 5 new tracks. There's a new environment, and they've added new lighting effects, such as reflections. So you see that all showed off in the trailer. It's out now. I don't know if it's free. I didn't see it say free. I didn't see a price.
Never free, bitch.
So, but they're not doing it, because these are like OST, like their own original ones. They're not not like famous artists or whatever. So maybe these ones are free. I don't know. But maybe somebody who knows can say. Either way, I don't care too much. I won't be getting it. But because we've seen the sale charts, Beat Saber is near the top of that fucking thing every time we look at it. So obviously there's people out there who do care.
Dude, a lot of people care about this game, but I don't.
I don't know. Like I think they're specifically for the updates. I don't know if they're like known tracks.
Amanda likes it.
Right.
But they're listed in the description of this YouTube video if you want to check it out.
No, not really.
Well, there you go. Oh, another thing we should mention is that the PS4, well, they say PS4, but obviously PSVR 1 version has been delayed. So you gotta wait. If you're still playing this on PSVR 1, which might feel more natural with the Move controllers because they line up better with the fucking lightsaber handles. Yeah. Then, yeah. Anyway, next topic. We're blowing through them now. Bulletstorm. Muzz's favorite game. Got an update, as Muzz said already, to get the dynamic phobias rendering. I haven't tried it out.
Yeah.
But I've heard it improves it significantly.
You got a code? Did you get a code?
I already own it. I did get a code.
Yeah.
Like this came out in fucking was it January or February? This came out. It's been out a few months.
It was a long time ago.
Like,
yeah.
It had some significant problems. I thought they'd given up. I wasn't really expecting any more updates. So this is really a pleasant surprise that the developers did this. You know.
Gotta play for a little bit and let us know how much better it looks.
January 18th, yeah. So, hats off to the developers. Incuvo, I believe they're called. They didn't give up on PSVR 2 when it would have been so easy for them to do that, but they didn't. So GG, free download, dynamic, full VSid rendering. Well, although this is an Unreal Engine game, so I wonder why it took this long. If it was in a Unity game, you would understand because they only recently unlocked that ability, but whatever. One more kick to the dick before we end. Hitman 3 Reloaded has been announced. Not for PSVR 2, exclusively for MetaQuest 3. Again, this is a game that was on PSVR 1, and they're remaking it. XOR Games is the name of the studio that are developing this. They're doing like a ground up remake for VR, where they're bringing like dual wielding controls, not the weird fucking controls that we had on PSVR 1. But as you'll see for a brief second in this trailer, which is mostly CGI, but there's like a very quick glimpse of what it's going to look like when he opens the doors.
Pause it at the one scene.
Yeah.
When
he opens the door, you'll see what it's going to look like on the old Quest 3.
This is all CG cutscene here.
And this is Quest 3 exclusive, by the way. It's not Quest 2 as well, which would explain things better, I think. Like, I'm a bit shocked with what I'm seeing.
Well, maybe because it's not like built from the ground up for this fucking shit.
So there you go. They like specifically said.
Oh my god! Is this an arcade game? Holy shit! It reminds me of Time Crisis in the arcades.
They specifically said they're adding like a cell shaded graphics to us, which
Yeah, PS1 graphics at the height of its power.
This is the art style we're going with.
How does the PSVR 1 Hitman game look better than this? Like, why is the Quest being outdone by PSVR 1?
Because that's the way that they decided to fucking build the game for whatever reason. Because obviously it can look better than this unless it's a super open world and it just can't handle it. But I don't think this looks really bad.
It's like a sandboxy type. It's kind of open world, but not like GTA or whatever.
That looks terrible. It looks terrible. It looks like PSVR worse than PSVR 1 kind of. Nah, I don't know. Sharper, but
I'm sure. Listen, the problem is like I'm sure it probably plays great or whatever. But
GoldenEye. It does look like GoldenEye. GoldenEye. Oh shit.
Damn. I hope nobody's watching this from this XOR Studios or whatever because they'll feel bad. But again,
nah, they don't care.
It's not your fault that you have to work with that mobile hardware. We don't blame you. We blame the hardware.
Still gonna sell, dude. At the end of the day, graphics are trash.
But this is disgusting now because we had Batman on PSVR 1 that was exclusive to PSVR 1. We had Camouflage Games making an exclusive PSVR 1 hero game, Iron Man. Remember that? And we had we had Hitman Trilogy exclusive for a year on PSVR 1.
Game.
And now it's flipped. Now it's all
trash
reversed.
Controllers.
Now Meta is getting the exclusive Batman game. Now they've got Camouflage, and now they've got Hitman. It's like, how many more fucking red flags do we need? Like, what are Sony doing? What are they?
Final.
It's not like Behemoth is exclusive to us. It's not.
No, they're doing flat. Doing the flatties.
The final knife in our back, shoving all the way through.
There's no room. There's no room for us. Our backs are full of knives.
No. 2 or 3 months from now, they'll announce Astro coming to MetaQuest exclusive.
Damn, yeah. At this race, don't rule us out. We won't rule that.
Where the fuck is Grand Theft Auto though? They bitched about that game like 3 years ago, and they haven't showed
never
nothing.
existed. Never existed. It's just to sell Quest headsets, and you fell for it, idiot. You fell for it, you fool.
Hey,
you and 20 million other people.
I felt to buy this trash over here that's collecting dust to play
At least Firewall came out. At least it released.
I need to cancel my PlayStation membership because this is fucking stupid. I'm just throwing $10 a month.
Just relax. You're getting free games every month. Get yourself some. What's the free game this month? Streets of Rage 4. Get that.
Flat games, flat trash.
This is probably meant for Quest 2 was moved over to Quest 3. If that's the case, then make it look like it. Because that everyone it's not. Listen, I'm a Quest hater. You know that. But everyone's had that same reaction where they see him opening the door, and it's like, oof.
Especially after the CGI. Come on, don't do that.
Yeah, it's the transition. It's the transition that makes it worse because it's a really good looking CG, and as soon as he opens the doors, the very next frame is this. This is like, okay, you can't do that. It makes it even look worse when you do that.
Yeah,
it's
God. But it's a win for Meta. It's a win for Quest fans. LSB says he's looking forward to it. Fair enough. I wouldn't turn my nose up at this if it was a PSVR 2 exclusive. I'd be bragging about it.
Yeah.
Even if it looked like this, although it wouldn't look like this if it was a PSVR 2 exclusive, which is, what hurts as well. Donnie says, blame yourselves, devs. They chose to make this game on that hardware, not ours. But this is funded by Meta. Like, obviously, I don't know that for sure, but I would assume it's safe to assume.
They're not making money over here, Donnie. They're not making no money here.
Ghost Shot says, it's GTA. It is going to take years to get right. There is no info saying they stopped working on it yet. But it's GTA San Andreas, That's on iPad. That's been on iPad for like 7 or 8 years.
It has been out, yeah. I think it's on the iPhone too. Yeah, listen, you never know. Maybe they're bringing all these fucking mechanics, or maybe they're just... Maybe Rockstar is just... No, you're not going to release it until it's the way that we fucking want to.
Maybe they overhaul like the interiors of every car, so you're like able to toggle all the switches and dials and shit like that. But probably cancelled. Donnie says that door was Gaming Time Machine. Oh, it was a Gaming Time Machine. It takes you back in time to what games used to look like. That's what the Quest does, Donnie. That's not this game.
It literally
put that Quest
looks
on.
like
It's like, damn,
Golden
this is how people
Eye.
used to live in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else to say about this?
As bad as that looks, the graphics of that game, it's still a superior gaming experience to any flat game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's true.
And like Hitman
That
is
is
a cool
true.
game. Like the way you're able to creatively kill people and shit like that. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, I'd rather play that than like the best looking flat screen Hitman game.
Yeah, understandable. All right, let's check out that fax machine, which was looking empty earlier on, but I think we got one at least. So let me boot up that intro.
It's that time again for questions and
actually, it was
topics
you
submitted by our viewers. So let's
You
go to our fax
You're welcome.
machine and see what we
You put
have.
a question in?
Fax me harder, Daddy.
Yeah, I think
I've
that's
been a bad
That's
boy.
cheating.
I told him that.
Nobody was
Sick.
putting questions, Muzz.
Oh, we got.
I had
another
to
one
try to
sent,
get
okay.
some
We got some. Well,
movement.
we'll address Jackpot's question then, even though the reason he's a
Really did.
host is so that he can fucking ask any question he wants while he's here. Yeah, we already did the one where you're asking about what PC viewer games you're looking forward to the most.
Well, yeah, Peeps never said that, but yeah.
Peeps.
Good dog, bad dog.
Well, people in the chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, like, let me know what I should be looking forward to on PC that maybe is under the radar for me right now.
Contractors.
But that's
That's it.
obvious. That's obvious. That's not under the radar.
That's all you have to care about.
There
Don't
should
care
be
about nothing
hidden
else.
gem. Phasmophobia, Devour. I don't. Okay, I won't care about Devour then. You said it. Why can't Mr. Jackpot get more recognition from PP as he predicted all of this? He didn't predict any of this because he bought a PS. If you predicted this, you wouldn't have bought a PSVR 2 headset.
I didn't thought Firewall was gonna be.
Well,
such
then you
a
didn't predict
flop.
all of it. Then you didn't predict all of it. Then so stop lying.
More than you, bitch.
Stop
Last
lying.
week you were still fucking jumping around in Cloud 9 thinking PSVR 2 was the best thing ever come to your life.
Shh.
Next
Alright.
topic.
Rogue says, why so hung up on the features initially lacking from PC VR support rather than the positives of what it brings compared to existing PC VR headsets? Where do you think these lacking features put it at a disadvantage when comparing? So I kind of already explained this earlier on when I was talking about us, how everyone was hyping up that this is going to move headsets big time because it's going to have these features on PC, and nobody at the time was saying, no, it's not going to have these features. Show me the people who were saying at the time that it wasn't having these features. Because back then I was like, oh shit, Half-Life Alyx with eye tracking. Look how good, that's going to be amazing when that works. So that was a kick in the dick. It's still good overall. It's still a positive, but it's just not as positive as it should have been, in my opinion. And you're like you said initially, because I'm illiterate when it comes to technology.
Yes, you are.
That I wasn't aware that when Sony say it's not happening, that there's could be workarounds that it might still happen anyway. So that changes things, obviously. Next question from Importon. He's actually got a fucking few questions. He says, how good would Quest 4 have to be for you to say, this is good enough for me? I'm off consoles for good. Use your imagination. It could even have a wired GPU puck you wear in your pocket. How good would Quest 4 have to be? Like, Quest 4 would have to be on like PSVR 2 level. Not just visually, but in terms of, it can handle the horsepower to, it would have the horsepower to handle a bigger, more complex environment in a game, maybe a more open world kind of environments. It's at the point where a developer never has to make concessions because of the hardware. When it's at that point,
Yeah.
Well, that's never gonna
I'd be
happen,
happy.
bitch. There's always gonna be something cool
No,
or
no,
something
not-
bigger they want to do.
but like, look at, I don't know, fucking.
Just shut up.
No. Yes. I will shut up. Like, look at like, for example, GTA 6. When that shit comes out, it's gonna be fucking amazing. It's gonna be crazy what they've done with it. Whatever, they've taken full advantage of the hardware. They pushed everything to the limits of not just the hardware, but like modern hardware in general. Whereas Quest, it feels like it's behind. So when Quest doesn't feel like it's behind anymore, then that's the answer for me. Do you have a different answer for that?
Nope.
No, I'd like I would like VR just to across the board get to the point where there's no concessions made to have the VR version.
Yep.
But I don't know how many iterations of VR we're gonna have to go through to get to that point.
You gotta be hooked up to the chip, Muzz, for that to happen.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you get that Elon Musk chip, then that's when it'll be different.
Let Elon stick his wires.
We
in.
need faster VR adoption rate, and for the medium to grow faster than it currently is. But all these dumbasses that don't want to buy into it are slowing everything down. So what can you do? What can you do?
All right, next one is from LSB. He says, you're one of the biggest PSVR 2 fanboys on the internet. You're one of the biggest Quest fanboys on the internet. So how's that been working out for you? Do you regret putting all your chips...
Damn, get fucking roasted.
Let me finish this. Do you regret putting all your chips into the PSVR 2 basket now that things are looking so dire? No, not really, because I still have, like everyone else is saying, the year one was really good. Like, I'm really happy with the library. I do have not Metal Gear Solid, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 8, Gran Turismo 7. Okay, Firewall wasn't what I hoped it would be. Horizon wasn't what I hoped it would be. Madison came along, scariest fucking game you'll ever play in your life. So there's still enough there that I'd be, okay, happy enough. Overall. But because my only alternative would be a Quest, I'm still going to say, well, I'm still disappointed at how things turned out, or how I feel like things are going to turn out. I'm not at the point where I'd be like, damn, why didn't I buy a Quest instead? Like, it was this or just flat. That was the options.
Because you don't know. You're really downplaying the Quest, the games, and
look
the
at Mudrunner. I just showed you Mudrunner. I just showed you Hitman.
Mudrunner
Look what Hitman looks like.
fucking,
Look what Hitman
yeah, but
looks
he's talking about two games that some people will play for 2 hours and that's it. I'm saying there's a lot of games that over these years you could still enjoy even with the shit graphics. I'm not saying you should have not got a PSVR 2. I think you should have also gotten a Quest.
No.
That's what I think you should.
I've only got one head. All right. How do you, like, Muzz, I know you don't have a Quest. Like, the question, I know you're not the biggest PSVR 2 fanboy, apparently, like I am. But, like, do you regret your PSVR 2 purchase?
Oh, not at all.
There you go, LSB. Get fucked. You're not going to tear us
I
apart.
do. I do because I have a PC and I have a Quest.
Oh, yeah,
if I
you're
didn't have
different.
a PC or a Quest, I would not regret it because there's a lot of good games. The headset is good, even though it's not as supported as we want to. But I do regret it personally because I have a PC already, and literally the only reason why I want it was for Firewall. So I do regret it. But like I said, because of those reasons.
All right, we got another one from Brave. He says, Would you rather have to get fed like a baby bird for the rest of your life, or wear the same clothes for the rest of your life without washing them?
Wear the same clothes.
By who? Who's feeding
Yeah, I was
me?
just going to say, can we pick who's feeding?
Who's feeding me?
Can we pick,
that
can
makes
we
a
pick
huge
the mama bird? You know?
I think feeding, because that's stinking, it probably won't be fun. You get all crusty and shit,
Well,
and you can't do
wait.
nothing.
What are they feeding you? I assume that it meant like
Well, it would be
like
their vomits.
worms.
It would be their vomits.
yeah, like
I would assume like a
2 hour
normal,
digestive
normal meal, like a human food, but like vomited. into
like
your mouth.
like swallowed and then barfed back up
Yeah,
into your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, can't do that. We're wearing the same clothes every day.
Yeah, no. Realistically, even if it was like Margot Robbie or whatever, I'm still gonna go with the fucking the clothes. Yeah, that's too disgusting because I gotta eat like 3 times a day. You gotta get vomited in your mouth 3 times a day. It's just
I
Although,
wouldn't
if you have to wear the same clothes for like a certain amount of time, like
All your life?
like you're gonna get holes in them, and eventually you're gonna like your cock is just gonna be out all the time.
But that's good because you need more ventilation, and I think you'll get used to the smell. So I don't know. It's a good question.
You can
though.
wash yourself.
No, that's
No, you can
what's
wash
the fucking point?
yourself, but you don't wash the clothes. He didn't say you can't wash yourself, did he? Or wear the
Something
same
about washing
wear the
yourself.
same clothes for
But
the
he
rest of your
didn't
life.
say about-
He didn't say you can't take them off. He just says you can only wear those clothes and you can't wash them. So it's going to get to the
You're
point
not
where
gonna
you're
walk around naked, bitch.
But that's what I'm saying. Like eventually
I
you're
don't
going to
know.
get
That's
to
a
the
good
point where it's
question,
only
though.
threads. It's going to get to the point where there's only a few threads on you, and it's not going to smell so much anymore. But the problem is that it's going to be like you're naked. That's the problem. But it might
No, you're
encourage
gonna
me.
switch
It would
clothes. You
encourage me
grow
to
up,
lose
You
weight.
switch to new clothes, and then they get dirty, and then you get bigger, and then you change. I don't know.
don't
I think
go-
I'll do the bar thing.
I don't go out enough for it to really be a problem. So never.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like if you're an introvert, then maybe you'd go for the clothes
The
easier.
clothes.
I mean, you should probably still go for the clothes because if someone's vomiting in your mouth 3 times a day, you're just going to smell like vomit. So you're going to smell either way.
Do you? Do you smell like vomit? You're not gonna vomit all over. It goes straight in your mouth.
Yeah, but
your
how
throat.
have you ever seen someone like anytime I vomit,
No,
it's just like a
I've never
spray.
seen somebody
It's a
vomit in
spray.
somebody's feed bare feeding.
Like
somebody, no.
I've never like done a steady controlled stream of vomit. I don't know if that's possible, but for me it's like a shotgun. It's like all over the place.
Yeah, I guess so. It'll be hard to chug that shit. Yeah,
You
great
gotta
question.
open up your throat, let it straight down. Anyway, you're disgusting, Brave, but thank you very much. Rizmaster Blueface, aka Roy Schwartz, says, how much do haptics take part in your conception of PSVR 2 on PC, considering there is none? Well played, Sonny. Well played. I think that's a big loss.
Everything.
It's probably one of the biggest losses, especially if you're like
everything.
Jackpot says, he's played Pavlov with and without the haptics, and he knows that it makes a huge difference.
It's trash.
Yeah.
So that's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Like some games
That's
more
the-
than others, but yeah, the ones that you are so used to playing with them, you would notice like immediately.
Yeah.
Like this is
Losing the
something-
triggers, losing them adaptive triggers is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if you have a PC. That's the whole point. What you would want to buy a PSVR 2 is so you can have all these extra features. So otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. We still have more. We have Rogue saying, to be fair, Steam VR only supports Rumble. I think he's just responding to Roy. He says, will you get a B haptics vest to enhance your haptics experience with the PSVR 2? Sorry, I'm gonna throw up in somebody's mouth. I don't know if he's talking to me or Roy though. It could be
you.
part of the Roy reply.
I told you should just make an email to
I'm
them,
not
be
gonna
like,
get
hey,
it.
give me a vest. Give me a vest. I'll wear it all the time. I'll wear it more than anybody else that you send the fucking vest
The
to.
only PSVR 2 game that supports it is like Breachers and Legendary Tales, I think.
Right, but the PCVR supports a lot of shit.
I don't know. Is that no, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Don't.
Okay, one last question, or maybe 2 questions from Rogue again. He says, "What's the first movie we're going to watch on big screen? What is the first movie we'd watch on big
Don't
screen?"
mess with the Sohan.
Yeah,
That's it.
I've never seen
LSD,
this. I've never
LSD.
seen this.
There we
I've
go.
seen an ad.
There we go.
Like when it was out first, I specifically remember an ad where like he's cutting somebody's hair and he like brings his foot up and he's like doing these kicks with his foot, and that's all I remember.
No. I cooked the fish. It's a good movie.
I doubt that.
First movie. There you go. Decepticon. Eat shit. Adam Sandler marathon. He hates Adam Sandler.
Muzz, would you have a preference? What would be the first thing you want to watch with a group of other degenerates in VR?
Can't think of anything.
The
off top
Room.
of
We
my
should
head.
watch The Room. Have you seen The Room?
The Room. That would be a good one. That's a
Everyone?
classic.
Yeah, The Room with Tommy Wiseau. One last question from Rogue. He says, "What furry will you be in VR chat?"
Damn, is there types of furries?
I'll be a flamingo. We'll be like I know Jackpot's into the
Like what
flamingos.
animal?
I
He's
assume
asking
so.
what
I
animal?
assume which type.
Okay,
of animal.
I don't know. I'm all confused with the whole fur. I thought furries were only like fox type things.
I mean, as
and
long as you're
shit
like in
that.
a fursuit of some kind, like it doesn't have to
Right,
be.
flamingos
a dog.
don't have fur.
But they
right?
have feathers. That kind of counts. But I know, like,
I
if they're
don't think
lizards, they're
lizard.
called scalies. If they're
Right.
like dragons and lizards. and
Oh shit, you're well
Scaly.
fucking
I've looked
known in this fucking
I've looked
field.
it up.
You guys are weird.
He did his research.
I've been exposed to some of this shit.
Tsuki just keeps sending him messages every day.
What do you think about this tentacle art I've done?
Tentacles.
Right. Well, thank you very much for all of them. I can't speak. Thank you for all of those questions because we needed them. Well, I needed them at the time because there was no questions at all in there like an hour ago or an hour before
it started.
It started. So thanks everyone for coming in clutch. I appreciate that. Extra says Skyrim mods are fairly straightforward using mod manager, but yeah, if you download too many, you can run into conflicts. Yeah, but I'm like Skyrim is like high on my list. Get that chat GPT shit working. Get the way you can interact with them working. I think there's even like a fully realized sex mod where you can like have full penetrative sex with NPCs.
In what chat? In VR chat?
No. In Skyrim VR.
Oh, jeez.
Get them Argonians.
Dragon lady.
Get them Argonians, scalies.
Fucking lizards.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Donnie says haptics, etc. The people that don't have the features PSVR 2 have won't miss what they never had. Some people seem to think it's like Sony's a ploy for Sony to cut these features so that people on PC play them are like, oh, I got the headset and these features would be cool, so now I'm going to buy a PS5 to unlock these features. I just don't think that's what they're doing at all.
Nope.
That's gonna work perfectly. Yeah.
All right. I think Jackpot's about to fall asleep. The duck is like an SOS signal, so I'm going to end the stream. Thank you, Muzz. Thank you, Jackpot. Thank you, everyone in the chat for the comments, and thank you, Magnum, Durban, and Mark for the super chat and the membership. Did I read that from Durban? Maybe I didn't. So I'm sorry.
You read that from?
Sure you read them all.
Durban Brown. He said he hates you. He loves Astrobot.
He said Astrobot hurt made me really realize it myself. Okay, I think I didn't read that, so I'm sorry.
The Magnum Gaming.
I read that one.
It.
But yeah,
GG
everyone. Thank you for watching.
Commenting.
See you in the next one. Get in the Discord. Get everywhere. Hit the links.
Get on the Discord. Buy a quest.
What the fuck is this?